So, hello everybody. Welcome to another wonderful Sunday here with our lovely adventurers in this little D&D campaign that we call Ages Past. I am your DM here, AJ, and let us introduce our players. Since now we have four, we'll start off, of course, first with Kayla. Who do you play?
Oh my gosh. I play Valindra. She is a half elf, half tiefling warlock, Pact of the Undying. And for her little familiar, she has Winnie, a little fennec fox.
Yeah,
And that's yeah.
And he
that's
hasn't blown
much,
up yet.
Yeah.
He hasn't blown up yet. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Today, yeah, he's having a good day. He hasn't blown up today, so fingers crossed. We're almost through the.
Yeah, and the one who's most responsible for Winnie blow-ups, Scott, who do you play?
Hello, I'm Scott. I play the pet killer, Bartesh Stormcaller, the Dragonborn.
Yes, and Cody, who do you play?
I play Rook, the Kenku Tiefling Rogue.
Yes, you do. And
who will probably die in about 13 days.
No, not yet. And last but not least, our newest returned adventurer, Connor. Who do you play?
Hey, I play Smoky Cloud, the half Tabaxi, half Fire Ganassi Abjuration Wizard.
Oh yeah. So we got ourselves a nice mix of people here, as they have, well, reunited and basically rekindled the previous group that they had formed so many sessions ago. So it's great to have four now, and it's nice to have you back, Connor, and in full time here forevermore until you die, but then we'll reincarnate with a new character. Who knows? I'm sure Cody is well versed with this. So
all this death talk is making me very stressed out.
That's the goal.
Just to do a quick little overall general information, of course, this channel operates with two current D&D campaigns, one on Sunday, one on Tuesday, both starting at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. And of course, any time you spend here accumulates loyalty points that you can spend on Tuesday's game. So it's a great win-win to sit around and enjoy everything that we have to offer on the channel. Of course, we have, I believe, if I remember correctly, Scott, you're starting to think of a campaign on Monday, right? Correct? You're getting ready to gear it up?
I am getting ready to start a campaign on Mondays. Time, not quite sure. When or what specific Monday in the foreseeable future, not quite sure, but I will be keeping everyone who follows us informed.
Great, yeah, so keep an eye out. We have more we have more coming along the way, so keep your eyes peeled. But I think with most of that covered, we should just dive on into the recap. So, last week, your party had successfully thwarted the other champions of the other dragon house in the city of Almiel. Now, upon returning to Jin's home to regather yourselves, recover, and just bask in your overall amazingness, you were interrupted by a puff of smoke that appeared through the door, only to rematerialize as a very familiar face of our, well, technically half-breed, sorry, Tabaxi Ganassi friend here, Smokey. As you were able to reconvene and find that he had been, employed by Lulu to improve your party's chances, as well as to make you better overall adventurers in the long run to get those juicy contracts and those succulent rewards. But as Smokey joined in, you all were told that perhaps it might be a good idea to keep the ball rolling to see if there's a way for you not only to improve your standing in the favor of the current brood that you have selected as your choice, but to also maybe get a little bit away from the city due to the fact that you are having a lot of people pressing to not only inquire about you, but also to try and pry any secrets or weaknesses you might have. And sadly, before you could even escape the city, poor Smokey was intercepted by one of these dragon individuals and spilt a lot of beans to them about what your party was and what he knew and what he was all about. But luckily for you, you were able to eventually sneak out of the city as you piled up into carts. And Varkesh, you actually hid into a water skin as a puff of smoke, thanks to our clever and useful wizard. as you escaped the confines of the Dragon District to emerge in the Traders District, you all gathered yourself and headed towards the local farmland because you had heard rumor of raids and different kinds of banditry that had been going on, houses burning, people missing. You eventually found one of the houses that had been left to a subscriber, ying. But you found a half-burned house, scalded and broken into ash. As you explored and investigated, you had two of your party members, Valindra and Varkesh, head off to the next nearby farmhouse to inquire about what had occurred at the neighboring estate. He told you a little bit about some fire and some odd sounds, and that this wasn't the first family and not the first to go missing. As you reconvened and tried to settle down for the night, you noticed there was a plume of dark smoke blocking out the starlight in the sky, and as you turned to look back in the direction, it seemed to come from the house you had just interviewed the previous neighbor to this farmland. As you went to race over there to see what was there, you uncovered what appeared to be a large band of bandits that had not only burned the house to cinders, but had abducted the residents of the home and laid them into the carts, chained and bound, ready to go to who knows where. You followed them to what appeared to be a nearby encampment that they seemed to be gathering and organizing some sort of either continual raiding or perhaps just to transport them further along and have a little rest. But as you had Kenku wits sneak closer and closer to the tent to spy, you sadly tripped an alarm, allowing them to not only notice you, but to engage you and to try and thwart the party from releasing their captives. With a bit of fighting, banishment, walls of force, and a near full party banishment, the villains were able to gather themselves up quickly, set flame to all of the tents and remaining wood debris, to try and cover their tracks as best they could as they fled on horseback and cart. Luckily for you, Rook immediately scratched an arrow on the ground to indicate the direction they had fled, as he had pursued them with quick haste and stealth. As the rest of you rematerialized into the material plane from the banishment spell, you were luckily able to notice the arrow on the ground and started to head in that direction to try and catch up with your ally, in hopes that perhaps either you can thwart their escape or at least save your friend from certain death. And that is where we start off, as you three are racing as fast as you can to catch up to the carts, while in a good, nearly 200 feet away is your Kenku ally. Now, for you, Rook, you're moving as fast as you can, but you're trying to be stealthy. Now, typically for stealth, you have to move at half speed to make sure that you are effectively staying in stealth mode. Now, I'm assuming you're dashing all the time, right?
Okay. Yes, that'd be correct.
Alright, so if you're dashing normally, that pretty much puts you at, do you have 30 as your normal movement speed, or do you have the 40? 30?
30 is the normal move speed.
Alright, so then if you dash with your action and your bonus action, that would put you up at 90, but if you half it, that goes down to 45. Now, the rate at which they're moving is they're dashing, so they're dashing at 60. So you notice that in order to stay stealthed in that manner, they're starting to push away from you. Now, you can try to run at a more quickened pace, and you can try to re-stealth and keep as low as you can, but you'll make it at a disadvantage, which for you would be flat, because you have the cloak. So it's up to you whether or not you want to just let them get ahead of you slowly but surely, or to try and risk moving faster.
I will let them get ahead of me until they're about 100 feet out, and then I'll start doing the disadvantage stealth.
Okay, so you're going to get as much distance as you can before you start to do the quickened stealth.
Yeah.
To try and keep that 100 gap. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check flat for me.
Okay. Okay. 21.
Okay, 21. You do your best to make sure that you keep low to the ground. Try to use the natural cover of the tall grass and shrubs nearby to at least break your silhouette enough that if they are moving at a speed, the wheels and the creaking of the cart might mask your own ruffling sounds as you push through all the vines and leaves that block your path. For the rest of you, you are moving at as fast as you can. You're pretty much getting like a dead even sprint. But during this time, Rook has fallen back a little bit. I need everyone to make a perception check, but Varkesh with disadvantage, for you're the only one with no dark vision, I believe.
Oh.
have to keep reminding me, don't you? You know, one thing get her.
I'm just trying to remember. Okay. All right. Oh, well.
Hey,
Oh, well. Darn, that wasted nat 20, but thankfully, Smokey is good enough. As you guys are chasing up ahead, Smokey, you're looking up, trying to see the cart or any kind of evidence of their retreat, but you actually see Rook kind of moving as quick as he can and keeping a good distance from the cart as he's trying to stay stealthy. But he's about a good 100 feet or so away from you, maybe 80 feet, but he's up ahead. You can see him kind of darting and moving.
Yeah. So, having seen him and with the distance you said, I will send a message his way.
Okay.
Rook, we're moving really, really quick. Slow down.
I'll respond, I can't lose the keep up.
He's right up to keep running. And I'll just keep running.
Okay, you guys keep running. You continue this pace for a while. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, Lord.
Only go well.
Dragonborn and natural.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, what a
I'm just-
turnaround for Valindra and her nat 20.
Don't jinx me!
Okay.
Don't jinx me!
And then Varkesh, your saving throw, please.
Yeah. I clicked it, and I'm just waiting for it to go
All
through.
right, we got a little bit of latency. Okay, all right. So as per the roleplay that we just heard right now, Valindra and Varkesh, double V's, you're still going strong. But however, you notice that Smokey, the little tubby and little poofy kind of tabaxi with a bit extra heat and just a little out of shape, he starts to lag behind. He's slowly getting farther away from you. You take 1 point of exhaustion, Smokey, as you are trying to keep pace
Oh my
with this.
god!
Could I just go run back? Just like see that he is majorly considering our Constitution saves. Can I see that he is lagging so far behind that I just go back and I just prop him on my shoulder and say, "Keep up, kitty cat."
Yeah, I mean, it's easy enough to notice that your party members would start to, like, not be near you as you kind of run as a group. But yeah, you definitely pull him up and you kind of hoist him on your shoulder as you start to run, now with him weighing you down. So you're starting
actually, if he does that, I will cast Levitate on myself, so I weigh nothing, and I'll just hold on.
Okay,
Actually,
alright.
As a matter of fact, he would not slow me down.
No, I mean, like, but in terms
Got
of,
a
like,
diet
you would start to feel it. Like, when you put something on you that weighs about a good 100 or so plus pounds, you do start to notice it as you make the marathon, in a way. But no, with the levitate spell for at least 10 minutes, you just kind of feel him get on there, and then he mutters something quietly, and as you start moving, you feel like this weird billowing motion behind you as a cat's hands are wrapped on you, and you have now a flapping cape of a tabaxi going behind you, just kind of in the levitation and the wind, making him just kind of flap like a flag.
He's a really cute backpack.
I tie a string to his paw and I fly him like a kite as I run.
Arkesh, we're trying to be stealthy!
I mean, it's up to you if you want to.
I would hold on to his neck.
Okay, alright, so you keep trying.
We'll try this later!
Close. I go. Close. I'll bite you. I mean it.
But yes, you are making good headway. Now, as this is happening, Rook, you still being ahead of the group, you notice that the carts are starting to slow down. They seem to be believing that they might be safe, or at least trying to give their animals some rest. As it gets to the point that they look to be knowing they're pushing their beasts a little too hard, just as you had all been pushed a little bit too hard just to run. But they're slowing down. You feel like you could easily catch up to them. They're moving about half pace.
Okay.
Quote Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
Yeah. You've been running for about at least an hour, and maybe 2 hours, hour and a bit. It's been a long, continuous run.
Okay. Yeah, I will, I'm still gonna just keep my distance and try to keep pace with them.
Okay. Well,
Is
you can.
Smoky, wind swept, fluffy and disheveled?
Well, he's quite.
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's quite fluffy and like a dandelion, just look at those little puff seeds just kind of drifting up and around. But yes, Rook, what was the question?
I'll kind of wave back to try to get everyone behind me's attention and go around the side to try to keep pace with them to the side.
Okay, all right.
Like, not directly.
Okay, yeah. Smokey, you can still see him with your perception check. You were kind of focusing on him, and you pointed it out. Did you point it out to your allies?
For sure, yeah.
All right, so Valindra would see. Varkesh, it's kind of like you have to trust him. He's in the darkness somewhere, but, you know, they're guiding you right now. So Valindra and...
Oh, inherently, Varkesh should just keep running.
Yeah. So Valindra and Rook, you definitely... Oh, sorry. Valindra and Smokey, you definitely see Rook signaling that he's moving off to the side, and you see him kind of move away. And you start to get closer, and you notice that the cart's torchlight are starting to get a little bit more, like, in your sight. You can see them flickering, bumping up and down. You can kind of slowly make your way getting closer as you keep running at full speed. Now, it's up to you how far you want to continue running stop and stealth, but... Yeah.
How far do we want to run before we stop and stealth?
What?
We should probably stealth now, right? Because we can see them. The camp.
Not a camp, it's a cart.
The cart. We can see the cart, right?
Yes, you can see the little torchlights that are on the cart itself.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably start trying to be sneaky.
Looks like they stopped moving, so as good a time as any. Alright, so let's do a stealth. I have disadvantage because it's question.
Yep, and disadvantage for
You
Varkesh.
have told Varkesh.
Hey, not bad.
Varkesh to actually stop running forward, right?
Yes, yeah, no, as soon as I saw Rook, I, like, held up my hand in front of Arkesh's face to make sure that he knows to stop.
I mean, that's a very interesting reach as he's quite tall, so it's more like little finger bits on your...
Yeah,
But yes.
tickling his beard.
Get a hook. Little.
Stealth check with a massive disadvantage for the kaiju. God.
And Cody, you of course make yours with advantage. Okay.
Yep, you got it.
All right.
26.
So Rook, you definitely circumvent around the side and try to get that flanking advantage. As you eventually get to the point where you can see the carts, the horses are still pulling them with as much effort as they can. You can see that they're all moving, and as you notice them going forward, you can see what appears further in the distance, what looks like another cart coming to meet up with this one. It's pretty far away, but you can see the torchlights just kind of blinking in the dark, so you recognize that as being, something you can see far off, but there's a little flicker in the distance. You're at like a higher hilltop right now, so you can kind of see around you. And you notice that as you're checking out towards the distance, that you're making your way kind of towards the northern part of Almiel, where the mountainside was. So you seem to be noticing that as you kind of crest up and down the hills, that now you're at this top, you can see the dark silhouette of the mountain peaks in the distance. And you can see that the other cart is like making its way to get to that mountain peak, but also to rendezvous with the current cart that is like right within your vicinity. Now, your three adventurer friends, moving as quietly as they can, do seem to stir up something, as you can see that there is an alarm called out. And they look behind, and you can see the tall figure, the one that's bald with this granite-like skin, turns and looks in the direction and does see Varkesh as he's kind of like this large lump that's trying to slowly jaws hide, but there's just this noticeable horn peek out. And you just see him immediately weave something, and all three of you, as you are moving forward, you hit something, and a familiar wall of force blocks your path.
Okay, about how far out is this cart from the other one?
Oh, good, 500 feet, maybe more than that.
Okay.
I just want to address something first. The DM called me a lump.
Yes. A mobile
Call it
lump.
like see it.
Oh, don't you start, Kayla. Yeah.
Is this like just a wall of force, or are we like boxed in?
You feel it as you stop, and as you kind of begin to move around like a mime, pretending that there's something there, but you can actually feel it. It is a dome. You can feel this kind of spherical shape blocking you.
How far out am I from the horses that are pulling the cart following?
Oh, well, you can get as close as you want because of your ability to just be a little faster than them and be stealthy. They're moving at about 30, the normal walking pace, 30 feet every 6 seconds sort of thing.
I want to keep about 100 feet out, and so far as I can tell, I'm still hidden, yeah?
They don't seem to notice you. They noticed the party behind you, but they didn't notice you.
I am going to take a poison dart and shoot one of the horses.
Okay.
No.
Go.
I was gonna do a thing.
That's fine. Go ahead and make your attack with advantage.
Oh my god,
It
Rook.
would be technically outside the first increment, so just be a flat roll here.
Well, you're stealth, so you get advantage.
Okay.
I mean, either way, 15 or
so
25 will
right?
hit a horse no matter what. So you do.
Okay.
You shoot a dart and you see it hit the creature. It does make a con save. No.
DC 10, is it?
Yeah. Is it DC 10? Oh wait, this is the normal poison, not the paralyzing poison.
I'm not a paralytic.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. I thought it was you. I thought you were trying to stun the creature. All right. No. So you shoot it, and it hits the rear of the horse. And you can see it immediately look around, panicked, rearing up a little bit as the cart and all of its people on top just start to wobble side to side and kind of stabilize themselves, looking to see where that dart came from. And they see you just right there as you kind of poked up and shot real quickly. Did you want to try to stealth with a bonus action, or are you?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
All right. So you try to quickly hide again into the grass. Make your stealth check.
29.
Natural 20, because you have advantage with the,
Yep.
Yeah, so just like a little shape in the night, you disappear before they can really hone in on you, and they try to see you, but they're calling out an alarm. You can see all the people that were there pulling out heavy crossbows, cocking them and looking out to see where you might pop up next, as they're all kind of poised and ready to wait for you to strike. But you can see that they're trying to calm the horse down as best they can. The horse is starting to panic and look around, the bolt still wedged hard into its rear. Let's see if they can actually do an animal handling check on the creature. Nope! No, the horse is going crazy, and you can see at this point now, the horse literally gets, like, so bad, and it's frothing, it's just horribly terrible. It's rocking the cart back and forth. The people immediately on the cart just start to, like, panic and wail as the two veterans with crossbows start to hop off to stabilize themselves. The berserker also hops off immediately and with rage, unable to, keep the creature in check, draws his weapon and slices the head off the horse. As it just lays on the ground, you see him begin to snapping off the reins, trying to get it
The
off this
mountain
animal.
from the Game of Thrones on that poor thing.
Is the mage fellow still visible?
The mage is still visible. He's standing tall and looking around, trying to see what was coming at them. And you
But
can
I
see
don't have any way to know that he's got that wall of force up, so...
You would
I'll
have
shoot the
seen
other
him
one.
cast something and release it in the direction of your friends. What he did, you don't know.
I did want to try to... Can I poof Winnie to the other side of the force?
The other side of the force?
Yeah, the other side of the
So
dome.
as you bring Winnie over, you send him, and he appears on the other side of the wall.
Okay, because I was going to send him towards Rook and tell him to not engage, because that's suicide, and then he fucking shot the horse, so...
We're 500 feet out, we're fine.
That's
I
fine,
just
but yeah, you
stopped him
can-
from making progress.
This is like during his time, so you would have, at this point, you would have felt it and realized it. You had 6 seconds. You could send Winnie as an action in that direction if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Alright,
I'm
so you...
sending Winnie to find Rook.
Alright, you send Winnie with your distance, being able to see as far as you can. He pretty much gets right next to where Rook last was seen. You saw him pop up and shoot, and then gone. You don't know where Rook is right now. Rook is stealth out of Winnie's vision. There's no way Winnie can see a nat 20.
Jesus. Okay, well, I'm gonna hope that I'm in the right area, and I'm just gonna start talking through Winnie, and I'm just gonna say, Rook, we're trapped in some kind of force thing. We can't help you. Stop attacking, because they're gonna find you, and they're gonna kill you.
Okay, you see that as you say that, crossbows are turned in that direction. And they're going to look to see if they can see Winnie.
No!
They have to just beat a 10 to spot him.
No!
Oh yes. One of them immediately spots him and goes, "There!" And they see them fire crossbow bolts at Winnie. As they were waiting for something to appear, and out of the darkness appears a talking Fennec Fox. So
Son of a bitch.
they will shoot at him. I'm pretty sure they're going to hit and kill Winnie, but we'll just make sure just in case. Alright, so first arrow fires. That's a 16 to hit.
I mean, he's a fox.
Yeah, and it does 5 piercing damage. So immediately as the first bolt launches, you see Winnie. You just kind of see Winnie staring up at. Suddenly, this bolt goes and skewers right through Winnie. And as Winnie kind of stands there, a leg falls off. Another leg falls off. The head starts to tumble as it just lays there lifeless, completely broken from the string control.
Can I ask what country Winnie was made in? I need to send him back.
I love how at the beginning of the stream we were like, he hasn't died today, he hasn't exploded, and then within the first 10 minutes of the game he's dead.
You did this to yourself. Alright, well, now knowing that he's done something, I'll take a shot at the mage. I'm not going to use a poison bolt this time around.
Okay, alright, so you take you aim to shoot for the mage. Go ahead. 25 will hit, absolutely.
That is 25 points of damage.
25,
Nice.
very nice. Let me just pull up his previous health so I know what he's at.
You may be down.
Ooh, he's not down, no. But he's hurting, and that will make him do a Constitution saving throw to keep the spell. Oh, yes he does. Oh, that's a nat 20. Yep, No, he keeps he keeps focus, and he's locked in on maintaining the spell. However, you popped up, and he was holding his action. Once the bolt shot and killed Winnie, he had no means to release it, so you see him look to you. And he's going to try and nail you instead. So he's going to shoot a firebolt at you.
Okay.
That is a natural 20.
2 nat 20s in a row, damn.
Yeah, but he sadly for some reason it's not it should be much higher than that. He should be, I guess a firebolt is at level.
If he's level 11 or higher, it should be 3d10.
Yeah, no, he's level well, I mean, I don't want to like let it out to you.
Above 5, but between 11 is just 2d10.
I need to quickly check. Yeah, because I think 4d10 is the max it can go. I don't know.
4d10 is at level 17. I don't think.
Okay.
I would assume it's not that high.
I would hope it's not that.
All right. It is.
Then
It
you
is.
have 9 level spells.
All right. It is 3d10. So you're correct.
Or 6d10.
All right. So the first he rolled 2 out of that, so that he needs to roll another 4 more. So. Because of the crit. The first one was 15 plus an additional 18 on top. A total of 33 points of fire damage. Would you like to reaction?
I would definitely like the reaction to have
All
that.
right, so you quickly roll out of this way as you can see the fire streak across and light up some of the grass nearby. As you get the singe on your shoulder, you only take, let's see, that would be 16 points of fire damage.
Okay, that'll bonus action hide again.
All right, go ahead and try to hide in the shadows.
22.
Okay, you effectively once more recede into the darkness. They don't
Well,
seem to
use my
stop
movement.
you.
Yeah, I'll use my movement to move 15 feet slightly ahead of the course that they were moving before.
Okay, as you kind of make your way up in that direction, they are looking around, holding themselves ready now. Crossbow bolts have been reloaded, and they're getting themselves to look out for you and spot you. During this time, as you're getting that forward, you notice that the barbarian has begun to push the horse away and is now taking up the cart with his own muscles and hoisting them up. And you see him begin to walk the cart as much as he can. You see his muscles bulging, and he's just like moving at as quick as he can.
Pull with your core. Pull with your core.
Don't
All in
give
the
him
back. All in
advice.
the back.
Sorry. Wrong side.
Alright, so he makes an athletics check with advantage because he is just pushing as hard as he can to get it go. Okay, yeah, he's fine.
I'm going to
See
look
the
to
cart-
Smokey and push his face up against the invisible force wall and say, "Fix this! Get us out of here!
Why don't you fix it?
I
Yes,
don't do wizardry
That's
things!"
no, Farkash, that's not helping. Please put Smokey down.
I already tried to cast Dispel Magic on the same effect earlier and did jack shit.
Aw.
Oh, okay. Whose turn is it? Because I've yet to...
Well, it's your guys in the bubble now because this is like this coffee's
We're all
happening.
in a collective round.
Okay, I would like to attempt to cast a spirit weapon on the mage.
Distance.
Okay,
How far away is it, though?
The distance from you guys right now? Oh, you guys are like 120-ish feet away from him, 100 feet or so. I just want to make sure that you can cast spells through the thing or not.
Yeah, blocks ethereal travel, but I think that's about it. Ethereal travel and nothing can travel through it. But if it's being spun into existence, I mean, I don't see.
Yeah, that's the question, because it's like because Winnie was technically because it's more conjuration when Winnie moves, so it's outside of the realm of like a physical push in a way. Yeah, I'd say you could. It's just that at the moment it's like you can form the spirit weapon and it just kind of gets a little too far out of your reach. You can't quite get it.
You know what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to do the very typical Varkash thing to do. I'm going to sling my shield back on my back. I'm going to pull off my gauntlets, get all my big old sharp clawy fingers out, and I'm going to go down on the ground and start digging like a dog to actually try and dig a tunnel underneath the wall of force.
Okay, all right. You start to dig, and you dig. Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Athletics?
Yeah, I could say this would be kind of athletic-y in nature. Yeah, sure.
Okay, you said that if it appears on the other side of the wall, then it can be cast through.
It does look like when you sent Winnie, like when you made him rematerialize on the other side, he was able to do that.
Okay.
Dig a hole. That's all.
But yeah, as Varkesh begins his own version of dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel, he's just going down deep.
I would like to hit him with Chill Touch.
Okay. And you
It's
have...
120 feet.
Okay, it's just within range before they started to leave. You could see him and begin to grab, so go ahead and make your 18 hits.
Okay.
Nine. Ooh, nine. Very nice.
Yes,
All right,
and let's see. Yep, and he cannot regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
So, as your chill touch reaches out and grasps onto him, you see him go as it just goes right across where the bolt had actually hit him, and it just digs in a little firmer, and you suddenly sense the wall falling away.
Scatter!
And as you say that, though, I need everyone to roll for initiative to see who can go first in this. This is going to be a question of who can do what fast.
I was thinking,
Do you want us to wait for a map for tokens?
No, don't worry about tokens yet. This is all going to be kind of theater of the mind a little bit. So,
Sure thing.
because this is basically to see if you guys can beat his reactions. Ooh, Smokey, you do pretty well. Yeah. No, Smokey, I'm afraid not. He rolled a natural 20.
Well, F him.
Yeah, so...
I hate this guy!
Just so you know, Rook 22, Smokey 22, Mage 22. You all rolled 22. Now, since it is technically a nat 20, I would be giving him that in the boost, and from your dex modifier being a... What is your dex modifier?
Mine's
+5.
Plus 4 and 5.
We
All
both
right.
had more decks than he.
Yeah, you technically have a little bit more dex, but it is a nat 20, so I'm trying...
Yeah.
Okay, well, everything happens at the same time. So, you see him begin to start to form the spell in that, like, span of, like, the 6 seconds. It's kind of going. And it's starting to, like, almost be released. Is there anything you wanted to do during this kind of, like, initial action?
Yeah, I mean, I'd ideally move Cat's agility 60 feet away from my group. And then...
Okay. Go ahead and make a dexterity...
That's probably my first thing.
So what?
I think, because I don't want to get trapped in the same thing again.
Yeah,
or at least I don't want to track with me.
Go ahead and make a dexterity save, because he's going to try and use his own calculations to try and bubble you all again. Oh, damn it.
6.
Damn it. You had to beat a 10. You just had to beat a 10. Alright, so... As you're doing this, and you try to get just out of that reach, you suddenly are moving with the feline grace of... There's a...
The cat jumping out the window, but the window's closed.
Yeah, it's a full-on YouTube funny moment for the lovely little feline here. But yes, you try and you move as quick as you can, but sadly, you get hit blocked. At this time, he immediately dismounts from the cart and starts to move away as fast as he can, telling the cart driver to move as suddenly everyone is seeing him haul the cart forward, the veterans on their crossbows flanking the sides, trying to lighten the load to make it a little easier for the barbarian as they all begin to move and walk away, keeping eyes peeled, looking for Rook. So they're going to start looking for him.
Just real quick, AJ, I'm sorry. It's supposed to be Chill Touch increases by 1d8 whenever I reach 5th level, so he should have taken 2d8 of damage.
Oh, all right. Well, go ahead and roll another piece of damage. 7.
That's 7.
Ooh.
Taylor's rolling some good damage today.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, he definitely takes. He's weakening. You can definitely see that he's hurt. That arrow and that. Ugh.
I don't think he is, but I need to ask the spell's effect. If he's undead, he has disadvantage on any attack rolls made towards me. So I don't know if that would count for the...
Well, sadly, it's not an attack roll, and he is not undead,
okay.
So no.
Okay, I didn't think so, but I just needed to double check and make sure.
That's okay.
Am I stuck in the bubble again with smoke?
Yes, you are. Sadly, your speed was not as fast enough as the quick return cast, as he, drops the spell and then panics, immediately puts in another one.
I'll go back to digging.
Alright, you go back to the digging motion.
Same hole. We didn't get anywhere.
So yeah.
To make sure that I'm following this correctly, were there any other horses or just the Berserker pushing now?
Now it is just the Berserker hauling this one cart on its way.
Okay. I'd like to take a shot at one of the spokes of the wagon. Gotta fuck the wheel up.
Oh, you're gonna shoot the wagon. Oh, okay. Alright, this is a specific part of the actual wagon, so this is you kind of honing in on that one little thing. This would typically mean that you fire at disadvantage, but since you are stealth, that gives you the advantage, so you roll flat to try and get the one piece to smack.
23.
That does. You definitely lodge the bolt right into the axle. So as you do, go ahead and make your damage. 8. Alright, no sneak, sadly.
Okay.
Because it is flat. No advantage, because it is a specific honed-in spot. And as you do, you definitely pierce it, and now I need to figure out what the hell the armor is of a cart. So, 1 second, it's picking on the tiny little thing. Alright, mounts. Let me see. Will it tell me how much it has for health?
I guess maybe 30 if it's a robust cart.
Robust.
Robust. I'll use wooden door because that'll be
Oh, for the wheel.
Yes, because I know there is door.
There is door.
There is door hit points.
Adorable.
Oh. Don't you just feel clever?
Bad Caleb.
Okay, here we go. Alright, wooden bone, AC is 15, right, that's fine. Okay, alright, so here we go. It is a large cart. Okay, alright. So, you definitely shoot the bolt in, and as it does, it wedges in there, and you can see the wheel, it gets jammed a little bit, and as the arrow kind of begins to kind of bend in with it, you notice that it kind of pops it, and the wheel starts to kind of do this weird wiggle as it's still rolling, but it is definitely starting to really off its balance. But they're moving as fast as they can. And as you do fire it, though, all the held actions look towards you as they see you in the vicinity. Fire crossbow bolts straight at you. Phew.
Bye, birdie.
I'll be fine. It'll be great.
Alright, 4 crossbow bolts at Rook. First one, 14.
That misses.
Alright. Second one, 21.
Hits.
Alright, 3 piercing damage from that. Third one, natural 1, new. And fourth one, 15.
That misses as well.
Alright, would you like to uncanny dodge the one that hit you?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay,
One
so
damage.
you uncanny dodge the one that hits you, and now you're going to go for the firebolt attack.
Didn't he cast a spell on us for his action?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I will say this is definitely within that cycling point. Yeah, you're right. So he definitely doesn't have his reaction ready. So he doesn't have that. So you're fine. Do you wish to hide at this point?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make your stealth check. All right.
25.
You drop down into the grass once more, trying to hide. Varkesh, you start digging, and you're digging hard and firm. You just start to pull out the dirt as much as you can. You start to notice that the wall starts to curve down, and it's continually making what looks to be like a marble.
I was also moving my 15 feet forward,
That's
just for the record.
Yeah, that's fine. You keep trying to move forward. The cart is moving, and it is moving at the speed just to kind of keep itself going in that motion. The party is now farther away. You kind of get that point where it's starting to close off in a distance.
I will grab Smokey. I will pull him into the big pit I've just made, and then cover us with dirt again to make it look like we've somehow escaped.
Oh. Okay, go ahead and make a nature check.
Ooh. Clever reptile. Ambush.
Clever girl.
Sorry, what was it that you were asking me to do? I got distracted by my amazing
Nature.
A nature check.
nature check. Oh no. Okay, that's not bad.
17. All right. You start to gather any nearby. Yeah, you do begin to gather any nearby grass, dirt, all the stuff, and you start to try and conceal yourself and your party members as suddenly, Valindra, there's dirt shoved into your face and then wriggled around, and you can see grass being put in your hair.
Just taking it all out. Is there any bad people within 120 feet of me?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Oh wait, Valindra would be in the bubble as well?
Oh yeah, Valindra, Smokey, and you are all in the bubble.
I would be pulling both of them into that pit.
Yeah, I know, you're trying to get them to, like, look, and you're just covering them up, getting them that version of, like, you know, look like you're not there, get you some camouflage, dirtying them up a little bit, and all that. And you kind of stay low. The cart is moving farther away, and it's continually moving off at as fast a pace as it can be. Rook, as you are doing this, you do notice that during this time, when you kind of would do your action, another synced action comes in. A stone is brought out, a small little kind of object that you can see that the caster takes, whispers something into it, and puts it away, and begins looking around for people. As all the other men start to reload their bolts again.
So he jumped off the cart, right? He's
Yes,
still
all of
a
them
ways
are
back.
off the cart except for what appears to be the captives on the cart.
Okay.
So they're moving as
So is it back
fast
to
as
my
they
turn
can.
then? Am I following this correctly?
I'm sorry, what?
Am I following correctly then it's my turn again?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or I guess. Alright. I'll go ahead and take my shot at the mage.
Alright, go ahead and fire.
Mm, 26
Alright, that does hit.
or 30 points of piercing damage.
30 points. Oof, that hurts.
Good.
Alright,
Yeah, fuck it, really.
yeah, that hurts quite a bit. Okay. Yeah, no, he looks pretty bloodied. He goes ahead and let's see if he can do this. Oh, he's fine. He maintains the concentration of his spell. However, he does spot you as you do launch it, as all the others also see you let out your firing. They turn in your direction, and you see that he is staring at you intently. Let's see. I was just going to say, because they would fire probably first before he would get his spell off, so we'll do the firing bolts initially to get you. So 4 bolts fire in your direction. 6. 21. Alright, and then 6 and a 17.
The last one also hits.
Alright, okay, so you take 11 from the first shot. Take it in full or
Okay.
uncanny dodge.
Taking a full.
Alright, and the second shot you take 10 piercing.
Okay.
Take it in full or uncanny dodge.
Yeah, I'll take that in full as well.
Alright, you take that in full. As the other guy looks into your direction to see you, and immediately takes what his own hand is and shoots out a firebolt in your direction.
Ah!
27 to hit.
That'll hit. And I am good on candy dodges.
All right. An additional 2d10 on top. You take 17 points of fire damage.
Okay, cut the half would be 8.
All right. And as you take the 8, we begin the turns anew as everyone starts to go again. Varkesh, you have dug a pit. You're kind of continuing to get that out, and you try to get your allies to get cover to hopefully try and fool them to see that you're not there, and getting themselves pretty low. You feel that your camo is pretty effective.
Rakesh, I don't think they're even looking at us anymore.
Just like shove a finger at his like flat face and go shh.
But yeah, during the top of the round, Rook, are you hiding again?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make your stealth check. 27. All right. So, as they're looking around, yeah, the mage can't risk it. So, you see what he does is he immediately quickly turns to the barbarian in the rest, and you just see him kind of softly command, "Return! I will see you there." And as he does, you see him once more cast something, and this time he disappears.
He cast Firebolt.
He did. The firebolt was a held reaction on you. Because he goes before you every time because of the initiative being a little higher, so he holds his action for you, and no one else did any actions last time. They just held it and reload. So during this point, none of the crossbowmen can, see you yet. But he disappears.
If he goes before me, his reaction would be null and void from the last turn.
Well, he didn't use his action from last time. What he did is he used the thing to block everyone there, and then he didn't get that extra reaction on you because we talked about that. We said, oh, that's right, he burned his on the spell, so he got off the cart and moved in that direction. So his action was burn the spell. You shot him. He didn't get a reaction. Only the 4 crossbowmen did. Then you snuck around, did it again. Now they're further away. During this time, he held his action, looked for you. You fired. You did a lot to him. Oh. Now him at the top of the round. He retreats. So it's you before the crossbowmen, but.
Whenever he poofs, does the wall of force disappear as well?
For you guys, the wall is still there.
There's no range once it's cast.
But yeah, the wizard is gone. Or
you're comfortably.
Concentration not to drop on that though, unless it was a teleport.
This is nice.
It might be. But yes, you are now left with 4 guards and 1 berserker looking. The berserker's moving. He's hoping that his friends will keep an eye out for you.
Okay. I am going to use. No, I can't do that. That'd be a very bad idea. No, I'm a bit too low. I'm going to return back to the party.
Okay. So you make a tactical retreat as you go back to the party and let the cart go ahead. You do eventually find them. They do seem to be behind what appears to be an invisible dome of some sort. And Varkesh has dug down. Actually, make a perception check for me to see if you can see them. The force is invisible, so you technically can't see the dome. You need to spot someone who's very cleverly hidden. All right. Varkesh, make a group stealth check for me. Just flat, because you're not moving. You're just kind of keeping below. Okay. You do eventually see what appears to be a slight mound, and there's a bit of, noticeable, with your dark vision, being able to slightly pick it out in the moonlight, a bit of glint of metal, a slight weird, odd shaping.
Smokey's tail is just waving in the wind.
So cute.
They're just tree roots, I swear.
It's a cattail.
It is a cattail. But yes, Rook, you do see them. They are buried under dirt.
Okay. Well, if they're buried in the dirt, I'm just going to... I'll look around and see if I can spot the sorcerer, the caster anywhere.
Make a perception check.
Yep.
All right.
29.
You don't see the caster anywhere. However, you do notice that as you do look around, the little distant fire flame has changed its direction from kind of rendezvousing at an intersection to immediately converging to head towards the other cart, looking for the beacon to kind of like guide it. So you do notice that its kind of reinforcements are making their way to that other cart as quickly as they can.
Okay. Well, I'll stay there, and I will whisper towards the mound of not people. They got away. I couldn't stop them.
Well, okay, did you see which way they went?
They're moving to meet up with another cart heading towards, north of Alniel, towards that mountain range.
Okay, I'm getting all the dirt off of me, by the way, and like trying to pull stuff out of my hair. And did you grab the Winnie? Did you grab his?
I was a bit focused on not dying, but I'm sure I can find him again.
That's okay. I will go look for him. I'll go look for Winnie bits.
And as you say that, you find the Windex glass just stopping you.
Actually, could you help me out with finding those right now? Because we can't go anywhere.
Yes, I can do that. I'll go off and try to find Winnie bits, staying stuff.
It doesn't take you much. It doesn't take you
Smokey
much
just
time.
cast a prestidigitation to clean people up.
All right, yeah, to help clean everything up, bits of dirt, a little bit of grass flies off. It doesn't take you long, but you do find the broken parts of Winnie, and you kind of start to pick them up and have them like in your hands.
Just kind of hold it up and like bump it against the weird wall of force right in front of me. Well, I found them.
With a very comedic motion, it's very easy to not know where the dome is. So many people are, and with a bird, of course, being bird and glass, it's a. So if birds can't see glass, good God help you with this invisible wall. But yes, so.
Okay, well, I will just sit and stare at the Winnie bits until the wall goes away.
Okay.
Just like my hands pressed against the wall, so as soon as it's done, I'm going to restitch them together.
All right, okay, so you all begin to wait that time. Eventually, after you wait about a little while, the wall does disappear, and you can feel the wind once more. The air is no longer still and stagnant inside the dome. You can actually feel the outside atmosphere return, notifying you of the spell's absence. And you begin to cast.
Yeah. Well, do we want to take time for that right now, or do we want to keep moving? I don't know how people are feeling.
I think Varkesh said something, but it just came out as a muted.
Yeah, I was just going to say that as soon as the wall goes down, or that he perceives it to go down, he's going to not trust that it has dissipated, and he's going to pick Smokey up and just throw him generally in the direction of the table.
No!
Well, luckily, cats do land on their feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's no wall. Every test conceivable.
I'm just gonna, not even looking up from Winnie, I'm just gonna, Varkesh, don't throw Smokey.
It's hazing the new guy. This is an initiation.
That is a good question, though. Do we want to go after them now? Because I know we won't really get to rest much, but neither will they.
Follow right now. They got some good hits.
Couldn't hear that, Varkesh. Bring it closer to you. Maybe it'll pick it up.
If it gets any closer, I look like I'm a fucking boxing announcer.
Good.
Let's get ready to dex check!
Oh, God.
But yes, and Smokey, you are quite exhausted. You still have that one level of exhaustion.
Well, that's not going to go away until I long rest. But yeah, I mean, I could go. I think I'd be okay to try combat a little bit.
You do know it is about, I'd say, 10 in the evening right now, maybe midnight.
We know the way that they're heading, and that cart is not going to be stealthy with that wheel. I think we're okay to get a rest in and see if we can follow later. I'm hesitant to let them recuperate, but there's no way I'll make another comment like that.
Alright.
Nope, Sparkash, we can't hear you. You're gonna have to be a boxer announcer, whatever.
Or just whenever you speak very loudly so the mic has no chance but to hear you.
You don't want Markesh to speak loudly.
Yes, we do.
Out of character.
I'm just saying, I'm going to park my backside on the ground and I'm going to start making up camp.
Okay.
You basically get yourselves all ready to settle and make camp for the night, and recover your health and your magic. Do you all wish to do anything before the long rest ensues?
Cry loudly, probably.
Go ahead, Smokey.
Yeah, I assume we move over to like some form of shelter, like even just under some trees or something.
There's no tree nearby that you can see.
No. Okay. Well, a really nice piece of dirt then. The most inviting piece of dirt there is.
There is a nice hole that Varkesh has dug, very loose.
And I will cast Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum on, I'll say, 100-foot cubic space around us.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right, and as you get yourself set up for Camp Varkesh, you notice that suddenly a wall of different force, but also magical in nature, just encases you in this large cube-like enclosure.
Puff loudly and I throw the tent on the ground.
Well, Varkesh, we still need the tent. This is really just for more like divination magic and people spying on us.
I knew that.
Putting this tent up this close to enemy forces? I mean, that's going to draw attention, especially as big as it is.
I mean,
What?
they're headed away from us.
Actually, I've changed my mind. There's dirt out here. Dirt's gross. Please set that up.
Why are you so against getting dirty? Like all the time. You are very particular about it.
I'm setting up
Because
this tent,
it's awful. Why would I want to be dirty?
singing Prissy bird, oh, Prissy.
Thank you, Markesh. These feathers don't polish themselves.
But I feel like you should have had exposure to the elements before. You seem to have been adventuring for a while before we met you. Shouldn't this have worn off? Is this going to be a thing forever?
What do you mean worn off? I care about my appearance.
Well, yes, obviously, but okay, never mind. You don't need to care about it with us. I mean, look, we're all a little dirty. It's fine.
That is the principle of the matter. I must be perfect.
Actually,
In every way.
Smokey used his oogly boogly magic on us. We're actually pretty clean.
We were all dirty before. And if you want to be perfect, that's fine. It just seems like a lot of extra effort wasted. But okay.
Should I stop cleaning you from now on, Belindra?
Oh no, I don't. I mean, if you want to, you can. But I mean, I'm not
Well, that's some
gonna.
interesting backpedaling you've got going on there.
I mean, if you want to be a dirty girl, I mean, that's your choice.
Nope, I do not want to be a dirty girl. No, I prefer being clean. But sometimes in the wild, when you're traipsing through nature to find bad people and kill them, things like that aren't readily available. I've never had what the magic clean. I've never had that before, so that's super convenient for us. But I mean, just like sleeping on the ground is not that big of a deal. Not to me anyway. I don't know.
You
Just
said I flap out my my sleeping bedroll that comes in my kit.
I
What?
tap Belindra on the shoulder and I point to the hole that I was digging at. Like, would you like to finish that off?
No, I'm. Oh my god. I'm just like aggressively stitching Winnie at this point.
With a renewed fury, Winnie is being brought back with a bit more haste and vigor as you eventually finish the ritual, and Winnie once more reassembles and perks up as if nothing was wrong, just not realizing death had happened. It just was like a blink of a moment.
Going to scratch his ears. Just
Yeah, it's immediate kind of now stopping and just anytime you stop, it's once more keep going.
I'm just saying,
don't stop.
if we're always worried about getting our feathers dirty, it might be inconvenient in some circumstances.
Not now, though.
No, just never mind.
Okay. in
Never-
about
just
12,
never
13
mind.
days.
All
Get
right.
to sleep, please. I've been a little tired since that Vault expedition. I feel like I'm not getting enough rest. All that laughter really took it out of me.
Can I look at him to see? Is that what Smokey was talking about? That you're not. Are you getting sick? Are you okay? I'm gonna look him over.
Yeah, make a medicine check.
I will do everything I can to actively hinder this attempt.
All right.
God damn it!
Make a medicine check, and make a deception check.
Son of a bitch! I just want to know what's wrong with
You burned the 20s so early. Oh!
What's the net one? It's still an 11.
Well, okay. So, you can tell that Rook is lying. He definitely is, like, he's trying to, like, hold back. It's hard to tell, though, from you. Your medicine is unable to really determine what might be causing it. He is wounded. You can see that he has singe marks across him, bolts stuck into him. He's hurt, and you can see that he's been going throughout the process of trying to, like, remove some of them, as well as bandaging himself and trying to stop the bleeding, but it's hard to know whether or not this is just an accumulated illness that he's had for days, or if this is just him feeling shitty from a battle. But you can tell he's lying.
Well, I definitely don't believe that. When did you start feeling sick again?
Around the time of that Vault. But I'm not sick. I'm fine.
Because you just said.
Tired from the battle.
I mean, Smokey did say that you looked not super great whenever he first walked in. And yeah, you do kind of have bags under your eyes.
All 4 of them.
Yeah, all 4 of them. In fact, the bags on the top row are so bad they're like sagging over the bottom row.
How
that's-
do you see?
I mean,
Why would you say that about me?
No, I'm just saying I'm concerned for you.
I mean,
My baggy eyes, they're fine.
What, Farkesh?
you want me to take a look at him?
Oh yeah, you're good at this medicine
Would
stuff.
all please stop fussing over my health? I just need some rest.
Well,
Rook, we're trying to help you.
I've
Oh, Farkesh.
already taken off pretty much everything I'm wearing, except the undergarments. Except the undergarments, thank you very much. Just keeping this like PG-13 at least.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, just as you doff your armor to turn down for the night, yes, everyone does it. You want to do a medicine check on Rook.
Stand up, like completely upper half is just like naturally shiny as if I'm covered in baby oil because I'm sexy reptilian.
You
I just go,
buff yourself?
In the bag of holding, there is a bit of polish, some sandstones, manicure kit. I mean, it's like you thought Rook was prissy, but you know now we've got the spa treatment from Varkesh's bag of holding
my secrets!
assembling every night. But yes,
And I just like lumber over to Rook and I just like grab his cheeks and I just start giving his whole head tilt. And he'd be like, turn and cough, please.
not
No.
quite the appropriate time to do that, but go ahead and make a medicine check.
The sneaky hernias. That's what we're worried about.
Please say I have advantage with that.
Please, for the love of God.
I mean, sadly, no one was helping you, and you did just say "cough for me" while turning his head, which is
I
not
was
the right appropriate thing for coughing. So it's hard to say. Okay, sadly, no. You cannot directly determine what is ailing him. He does look less than his perfect physical best. You can't tell if it's from the wounds or if there's some lingering infection, but he does look like he's less than he should be.
I cannot tell right about now, but I promise I will find an answer.
Alright.
Very agitated now. Rook kind of puffs up, turns to Smoke, he's like, what about you? Do you feel the need to manhandle me too?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
Smokey, you noticed something was wrong with him first. Is he getting worse?
You know, I think we're all a little short with, you know, the battle and stuff. I think sleep would be really great for all of us. Maybe
Thank
in
you.
different corners of the giant cube I just created. And just, you know, taking a breather and reassessing in the morning.
Okay, just, Rook, you'll tell us if things get worse, right?
I'll be fine.
You didn't answer my question. You'll tell us if things get worse, right?
I don't see how they could be worse than they already are, but fine.
Okay.
you like me to let you go now, Rook?
Please.
Should we sort of, take turns keeping watch?
Yeah, it's still the middle of the night.
Yeah, but they might come back.
So, AJ, for my spell, I can actually choose to make it, like, misty or not. I probably would have just made it invisible, just so we have a clear line of sight for everything around us, and it's not noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah, very similar to the invisible wall of force. You might have the occasional bird fly by and...
Well, it's actually not physical at all. It literally just holds out to
then yes.
and travel.
Then you're fine, yeah. No, you're good. But yes, did anyone wish to take watch, or are you all snoozing?
I'll take first watch.
Okay. I'll take second watch. Is there 3 watches through the night, right?
At least 3.
Okay. Well, I just...
Last watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can wake me up whenever you're done, Smokey.
Alright.
Okay.
So, Smokey, you begin the first watch as the rest of your allies turn down for the night. Please make a perception check for me as you kind of keep an eye out to know if anything approaches your camp.
Disadvantage. I should have had last watch, so my exhaustion would be gone. Still 17.
It's pretty good.
Not bad. Alright, you keep an eye out to see if there's any outside creature or force that might assault your party. Nothing approaches for the first hour, nor the second hour, but during this time when your party members are hopefully in a good sound sleep, Rook, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh no, it's so happening!
Okay.
Oh my god.
You notice that Rook is kind of tossing and turning a little bit, but he's still asleep and nothing out of the ordinary. Valindra, you are woken up by Smokey for the next watch.
Okay, I am going to keep watch, but I did want to check and see if Rook was actually sleeping okay, since that's what he said was happening. So I just want to kind of
did he tell you? Smokey, did you tell her?
No, no, before. I was going to do this before Smokey even took his watch, but
okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of check in on him, because Rook had said, I'm just not sleeping well.
Yeah, I would not have told Valindra, because she was already too hyped up about getting in Rook's business.
Okay. So
Rook likes you.
Valindra does take your watch as she lets you rest and recuperate. Valindra, make a perception check for me, please. Alright. You watch and wait. A majority of your vision gets dragged towards Rook as he does seem to continually toss and turn a bit. It looks like some unrest with him. He's still sleeping, but perhaps he's just not either comfortable, his body is subconsciously trying to find a better perch, or maybe he's just having bad dreams, but he just looks to be slightly uncomfortable.
He talking in his sleep at all?
No, there's no talking.
Okay.
Yeah, but you keep an eye out for a good couple hours, just trying to make sure that no one hurts your friends. Rook, during your sleep, you are assailed with nightmares, visions, horrible, horrible displays of skeletons, ghosts, and wraiths. This kind of weird wake, a sea of souls that just ebbs and flows around you, swirling like a vortex or a whirlpool that pulls you and makes you tumble and roll like a weird typhoon roller coaster in this ethereal void that you just kind of continually feel this tug and push, and you have no control over its direction as you're just succumbing to this natural force. And it's a terrible experience, but luckily for you, you do finish your rest and you do get the benefits of it. But you are awoken by a slight hand pushing you, as sound alone is not enough to rouse you.
Rook.
Yes? Oh, my watch?
Yeah.
Okay. Sits up and starts donning his armor. Could you help me with this, please?
I'll help him put his armor on.
Just light armor, it's quick and easy.
Yeah. Takes only about a minute, I believe. But yeah.
He moves to go over to his post. He pauses, looks to Valindra, What was that spell that you cast on me before?
Which one? The one where you slept?
Yes, that one. The laughter.
It's just so it's more than just a sleep. It's, you actually look like you're dead. I believe I've heard it called feigned death before.
Let's
So
see.
why do you want me to cast it on you again so you can sleep a little bit better?
Maybe. Does it have any side effects that you know of?
The only side effect I know are the effects of the spell. You look like you're dead. I don't think there's anything strange. Nothing that I've ever heard of, at least. Why?
Just curious. Okay, I'll go take watch. Get some rest.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Valindra, you turn down for the night, getting your own sleep to recover your health and your spells. Rook, make a perception check for me as you keep an eye out.
19.
Alright. The world itself is pretty quiet. You do hear the sounds of just the occasional owl and cricket, just somewhere around in the distance, but you watch and wait until eventually the sky begins to brighten, twilight, and all of its, all the beginnings of daylight returning to the world as you kind of see everything warm up, and the world is brought back to daylight. You are awake. You feel slightly achy and not the best, but you did successfully long rest and you did recover everything, so you're not exhausted. And as everyone else feels the morning come too, you also feel the long rest rejuvenating you, helping mend any wounds, recover any of those pesky drains that might have happened from last night. And you all come around looking about. It's nice. It's a good morning. Birds are singing. Can't hear Markesh.
What Rook is that singing?
Just wake up and say, morning!
Good morning.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey, which we do not have, sadly.
No, we do not. Thank you for pointing that out, Markesh.
You are most welcome. Are you awake yet?
Let's start eating breakfast.
Yeah, I'll get some rations.
Okay. So yeah, you all just get your rations, your breakfast spread out, recovering your hit points if you'd like. Do remember though that any hit points you do spend, you can only recover up to half of them per each long rest.
So do we need to use hit dice though, or do they heal automatically?
The long rest allows you to heal to full automatically.
Oh,
yeah.
So
Yeah,
you don't.
right.
Yeah, so you don't need to roll hit dice. Just remember that when you do roll, after every long rest, you regain half of them back.
Yes.
Put my armor back on.
Okay. You all get yourselves ready, chainmail, plate, all readorned. Each of you doing your prayers throughout the day, getting your spells ready, making sure that everything is in order. As you spend a good hour or two just kind of getting yourselves, prepped for the journey ahead. What would you wish to do?
I Varkash, have a plan. Now, I just had a bit of an idea. I am very large and therefore very loud. I am not sorry for this. So, I would suggest, seeing as Rook loves to run off and get himself stabbed 60 ways from Sunday, how about, because I'm not stealthy and because Rook is so runny, you, Smokey, turn me into the all-powerful storm cloud I was before. When we need to infiltrate something, I can therefore be stealthy inside a water thingy-majiggy, and then when ready, out pops Varkesh and skullfucks anything that's there. Huh? Sound good?
That's not a bad idea. It will certainly keep you guys closer.
And that means if you could throw the water skin at Rook and I emerge and land on him and go, ha-ha, you can't go anywhere now. Beacon of hope.
Please don't do that. If you give away my position, they'll be able to shoot me easier.
I mean, it may be better if Rook has the water skin and he can just put it in a strategic location, possibly. And then whenever we're ready, we can give a signal, and I can just cancel the spell, and you'll just be you.
I like it.
I like that idea.
A Varkesh Claymore. That's pretty, I love it.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Right?
Um,
Because Valindra has this thing where she heals naturally because of her little friend who keeps falling to pieces.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah.
Yes, falling to pieces. Through no fault of anyone else.
If you stay close to me, I can give you the means to be able to heal better.
Yeah, I'll never turn that down. I suppose you are right that I do draw some offensive action towards myself, but it's only because I'm picking the most efficient way to achieve our goals.
I mean, you're pretty great last night. You bowed out before things got too hot for you to handle.
I appreciate the pun. That was good.
Hot.
Never
It's
mind.
on fire.
Oh.
Smoky, that you're part fire, Genasi, right?
Oh yeah, so there's always fire. Sorry, I'll try to do better next time.
No, it's okay. It was kind of a far stretch, so we'll get there though. We'll find the groove. We'll find the rhythm.
Anyway, let's see if we can pick up that trail from the wagon. It shouldn't be too hard. It was wobbling.
So we have a plan, right? We follow.
Sure.
When Rook picks up the scent or whatever birds do, I will become almighty miniature storm cloud, and then at the right time, I emerge and be able to cast my magical abilities on people, and we'll all be safer and happier.
Yeah, and I can hold you as a cloud for an hour, so even if Rook isn't sure how soon the combat will start, we have a good window of time before that wears off.
And Valindra, if you could keep winning with me in those instances, it may be good to have another set of eyes on.
Hey, just don't get him obliterated, please.
Well, of course, he'll be in my hood, same as he has been every other time.
Just saying, he's been dying a lot lately.
He didn't seem to care too much last night.
He's still cute. There's a finger. There's a camera. Little squish under the chin.
Only ever snuffed Winnie out twice.
I mean, I can reassemble him, yes, but still, it's just be careful. I don't like to see him like that.
Of course, I understand. I'll do what I can.
Alright, I'll help Rook with his survival check or tracking or whatever.
Sure. All right, so for you tracking Rook, you are looking to see if you can find any tracks, evidence of the cart's direction. Make a survival check with advantage for me.
18.
All right. It isn't that hard. You are able to spot what appears to be a very nice-looking pair of tracks. These long, straight lines that the wheels had carved into the dirt, making their way down and eventually towards the mountains in its direction. You're able to follow this without any difficulty to the point that you actually see another pair of tracks rendezvousing with this one. And you notice that now there are 2 cart tracks also heading in that direction. Very easy to follow. You spent about a good, say, 3 hours tracking, following. You all are just walking casually, looking around, trying to see if you can spot anything or to keep on the alert. I'd like everyone to make perception checks. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I only need Valindra and Varkesh to make them, as the other 2 are looking for tracks and keeping their eyes down, trying to keep yourselves en route.
Sure, I roll an 18 for that.
All right, Varkesh. All right. So, Valindra, everyone notices that the time that you spend is very peaceful, and you can notice that a majority of it is just open, barren countryside. The basin that seems to have been nestled between the 2 rivers here, right in front of the city of Almiel, is perfect farmland. It is a very low valley and kind of like mostly spread out to be wide, to see anything in a good distance. There are occasional hills here and there, some going a little higher than some and coming down, but they're very barren, and you can kind of get a good viewing distance when you're at the top. As you kind of reach the top point and Smokey and whatnot, you kind of do your casual look around. You just see things. Nothing necessarily pops up because you're also, once you get to these top, you're making sure to follow the right tracks since they do split off sometimes here and there. But Valindra, you notice that as you are getting closer to the mountain range, you can spot this in the distance, what appears to be a very faint smoke line, kind of just high up into the peaks, this little trail of gray that goes into the sky. And as you peer, you swear you can just barely make out in vision, like you can see what appears to be a slight plateau, a flattish segment of stone kind of in the distance, just where this originating kind of smoke is coming from.
Okay. I'm gonna point it out to everyone. So I'm pretty sure that plateau up there with the smoke trailing from it is where we're supposed to be headed. Are we sure we want to go in there, though? I mean, we could barely handle one batch of them, and then they met up with someone else and all went back to this location.
We had them on the run, and they were moving too quick for us to really get our abilities in. Although that mage is a problem, I think if we all pile on him quickly enough, we can do something about it.
Probably. Smokey, you kind of, in the caves earlier, the first time you helped us out, you got rid of one of those monsters. Could you do that to the mage?
There's a chance I could. There's a chance he could stop me, or the spell just doesn't work, but I mean, there's a shot.
I did catch him saying something to that fire element to make it do something. If we were to get it to him before he gave orders to it, we might be able to
I muted myself.
prevent that from being much of a problem to begin with, or even have a situation where it's a problem for everybody and not just us.
I mean, getting the jump on the mage is definitely a good thing, but I mean, the problem is I am almost certain he's going to cast an alarm spell around that entire place.
Is that what made them notice me last time?
I shouldn't know that technically, should I?
I mean, he says that, but he is able to, I mean, you're able to convey the fact that he would do a recap. He was there, he thought he was stealthy, but they noticed him, and he thought it was surprising.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty common wizard spell, and it's not very hard to do. It doesn't cost any energy, it just takes time. I mean, that plateau, and AJ, am I right in thinking that it's sort of elevated from the ground level, and so there's probably...
Well, if Valindra points it out to you, I suppose.
If it's easy to spot, not easy to spot, but easy to cast, how would I see that, do you know?
I mean, what you could see with Detect Magic, because there'll be a lingering aura, then, I mean, you can either go around it, or you can go over it, you can go under it.
Unfortunately,
I know everyone on the squeegee hunt as kid. There's lots of ways over, under, around. Just not through. Don't go through.
Well, I can't exactly just hop the whole way up. That's going too much work.
Everyone just does this.
Just bunny hopping our way into danger.
I mean, I could levitate you over, and then we just sort of have to somehow push you over the area.
How many people can you turn into that fog?
It uses a good amount of energy, but if I used everything I got, 7.
I mean, if you can levitate him, I'll conjure Mage Hand. I can try to push him over.
That would make him weightless, so actually, yeah, that could work really well.
The problem with that is if I'm in the air, I'm not exactly very hidden.
Yeah.
If you were to do that, then you would need a distraction, because you would be very obvious at that point.
Yes.
Well, let's see what it looks like before we even talk about infiltration, I'd say.
Probably a good plan.
And who knows, maybe those people are just like really friendly yak farmers, and we're just talking about nothing.
Well, they tried to kill us last night, Smokey.
Well, no, I mean, that could maybe they passed through that friendly yak farmers camp, and they just kept on going. Those are just your friendly...
someone's house and stole all their stuff. And also killed people and took others as slaves.
Well, I'm not saying... Okay. I'm trying to say that maybe that camp isn't theirs, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay, buddy.
Okay. he gets a little quiet.
All right.
I appreciate your optimism, but these are definitively bad people.
I feel uneasy about this.
I
And I'm
mean,
usually about running headlong into things.
yeah, I wish we could, have some sort of a better plan going into it, but is there a way that is there a better way to go about this? Because we can't just let them get away with all these people.
We could call in that favor with the Durrell family, ask them to send someone to help us with this, but...
How far off is Almiel from where we are?
Almiel, from where you are, is another hour to 2 hour walk.
Oh. Well, we could just walk and get reinforcements.
Yes.
We don't even need to call in the favor. I mean, you guys already seem to be pretty friendly with that one dragon.
Actually, that's a good point. It is in Jindrit's best interest to have this taken care of. If it draws more prestige to him and his family, it'll be more worthwhile to the rest of the dragons. The only thing is, would that sort of posturing matter? These are just poor farmers on the outskirts. It's nothing to do with the dragons themselves and their lofty, far-off district.
Muted.
Can anyone send Jin a message this far away and ask him if he would be able to, I don't know, have people meet us there?
One of us potentially could.
Marcus, can you help us out there?
Hey.
Oh no, you're muted. He can't hear you.
He's not muted, he just didn't talk loud enough.
Yeah, you have to talk
My
louder.
God, I hate this microphone. It sucks. So, what are you asking of me?
Can you send a message to Jin?
Did you prepare sending this morning?
Sending is a 3rd level, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Nope.
Okay.
Sadly, I cannot, I'm afraid.
Okay.
And not only that, given last night's encounter and the massive head start that they have, now that they are perched upon that large hilly plateau type area, you can always assume that they would probably be either expecting us or at least expecting reinforcements at this point. So,
Right, but if we dilly-dally too long, they could also just leave now that they know
exactly.
that
So
someone's doing something about it.
waiting for help to arrive could just be that small, tiny window that we miss out on. Besides,
If we're going to go for...
rejuvenated and fresh and ready to go.
Yes, if we were going to go for help, we need to do it on foot. But I think it's in our best interest to go now.
I'm okay with either.
I say we push on.
All right.
Alright, onward.
All right. You guys head for the mountainside. It takes you another hour, but you do reach what appears to be the base of the foothills. This is where a bit of shrubbery and tree do come back to life, as you can now see that there's a bit of a dotting around the landscape, and you're able to use it as a bit of cover as you kind of follow this weird little wind that the carts have made in order to get past this slightly continually growing maze of tree and shrub. Eventually, you do see what appears to be, as you were keeping an eye on it, and you notice it, the plateau is ahead of you. You do see what appears to be an almost naturally carved set of stairs that lead up the side of the mountain and head towards the top of this plateau. From this distance and the angle that you're at, you can see that there appears to be 3 wooden carts that are just kind of slightly angled on the edge of this plateau, just a little bit in your vision to see that they are parked there. And the trail of smoke that was a little stronger for you to notice at first, Kayla, or at Valindra, has slightly weaned away to nothing. The wisps of its trail are now blown away, so there's nothing for you to be able to spot any further, but it's up there still.
Okay.
So that staircase definitely trapped.
Now would be a good time for me to turn into the cloud.
Well, I would like to do something with those carts first. I want to sabotage them, so if they do try to run, they're at a disadvantage.
That's all and good, but if we can make it up there with me not being loud and or very visually obvious on a mountainside, I mean, your chances of not being spotted would be that much better.
That's true, and you did say you can make it last for up to an hour, so that would work well.
But the thing is, if I can't levitate and cloud someone at the same time.
I think turning me into a non-obvious element at this point would be more advantageous than to teach a flightless bird how to fly.
You do know we're already coming, most likely.
Might as well cause as much havoc as we can on the way up. But still try to stay unseen for a while, but...
So
I can cause a distraction and destroy the carts if you want to sort of sneak around to the other side. I don't know if there's a way to get over there, but...
I don't want them obviously destroyed is a problem, because if they're obviously destroyed, they'll just take another way up. If they're not so obviously destroyed, they start moving on them, they fall to pieces, and they're fucked.
Well, here is also the advantage. If I'm missing, or if I have the means of being able to not be seen, say, as a cloud, they know our party structure. They know that there is a big blue thing with you guys, but yet I'm not there. So they would be expecting me, not knowing where, and then all of a sudden I emerge out of nowhere, catching anyone specific off their guard, which is always advantageous.
Would it be overly expensive for you to just turn you 3 into this mist?
unfortunately, up-leveling that spell does not exist.
Okay.
You can only do one person at a time. It's not like Fly or any of the other really cool buffs. Just one person at a time.
It would have given us a wonderful way in.
Yep, it would have.
What a missed opportunity.
Ah! Yeah, can I smoke look around and see if there's any other possible way up this plateau aside from the very obvious stairwell?
Well, the side of it is a very steep cliff. It's almost like a mesa. You know that if you wanted to use any other means to get up there, you would have to probably climb. The actual stairway itself, it's not much like a stepping stair. It's more like, it's kind of like broken a little bit, but it's like a ramp. And it's very wide, enough for at least a cart or two to go up together.
Do I see anybody, any sentries watching guards or anything like that?
Make a perception check.
Be an 18 to then move.
Good thing. As you stare up in there for the moment, you swear you do see one top of a head, maybe just for a brief second, just a little, and it disappears.
They're watching the cards. We'll have to be careful about this. Or at least they're watching the ascent up.
I think it's advantageous to make me vanish.
I do agree with that. And out of curiosity, Varkesh, can you see magic? Do you know the detect magic spell?
I do.
Because the thing is, if I turn you into a cloud, and you already have that spell going, you could sort of guide Rook around wherever the alarm spell is.
Would that be possible as basically a living vapor? Do I have means of being able to communicate?
You would just have to use like your form to like go like this way, or he has to follow you, or
just like invade his ear and start speaking into his brain.
Well, hilarious. I don't think that would work.
just from experience at Varkesh, you have been smoked before. You do know that your perception senses retain themselves to some odd degree, so you are able to kind of perceive, and you would be able to see. You also know that you can hear, and anyone that has talked to you or mentally cast spells at you, like message, they do go through, and you are able to reply. So it's this weird gaseous state. It doesn't really impede you. It just...
Well, I can only hold the detect magic for 10 minutes.
Rook is pretty fast, and you can move pretty quick as the...
How long or high is the ramp staircase?
Oh, it's
how many feet?
It probably looks to be about, from what you can guess, 80 or so feet in height.
Okay. That's not bad. I was expecting like a crazy serpentine thing.
It's more of like a gradual next to the side of the mountain, just kind of hugging up to the top to like the first plateau that's right there.
Yeah, I say I'll mystify Varkesh Rook will put him in a water skin, and if all goes well, he'll be able to sneak in and disable some of the carts, and Belinda and I will be within message range if it's only less than 100 feet away, so we can keep in contact.
That's right.
Any other ideas?
Question.
Well, if Winnie stays on top of his head, I can just sort of check in, and if things start to go wrong.
If I miss, do I get any advantages on stealth?
You make no check at all. You are just literally a gaseous form, and there's nothing that you have to worry about to stealth. It's like as if a druid turned into a mouse and hid in a pocket. It's up to the carrier to be the stealther for them.
Silent but deadly. Got it.
Barkesh, if we were to get into a fight, how close do you want to be
To you or to the enemy?
to the enemy?
Enough where I could pop their head like a grapefruit, preferably.
Okay, that being the case, I take out some of my rope, cut it off with my dagger, and tie it around both the water skin and a bolt.
Okay.
Launch me.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. You do know that this is going to be a very odd kind of bolt in itself. You probably couldn't use rope, but you could use twine.
I do have that little stretch of like weird metallic rope that the keys were hung on.
You do.
Not even rope; it was like a metallic twine, so I could use that.
Yep, you can. If you'd like to, you can tie it up with your mithril wire.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't Belinda? I've seen her use thread all the time. Do you have any thread to spare, Belinda?
That's a little bit different. That thread is only for Winnie.
This wire will be expensive, but I think it'll be worth it.
Quick question. So, I'm going to turn into the cloud, go into the water skin. Rook's going to, like an ostrich, just book it up there, be stealthy as he can. And then, as soon as bad things happens, he lets hail a holy hand grenade on me inside, and then I out and go. I dream of Genie or Varkash and just kill everything there.
Yeah, as soon as I see Rook fire you towards the bad guys, then I'll let Smokey know, and he can drop concentration, and then you should just bust out. We'll have to buy you a new water skin. But...
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. Water skins aren't too expensive. The concern here is that instead of me being up in there on my own, it'll be Barkesh in there. So.
You really underestimate my durability.
I can also, Smokey, if you're willing, I can dimension door us up there.
Oh, that'd be all four of us. That'd be great.
Okay. Well, then just
if things go south, then
just get ready, I guess.
All right. So I will move forward and I will cast Gaseous Form on Varkesh.
All right. The very familiar sensation goes across you, Varkesh, as you once more separate and become nothing more than a vapor.
We can't
hear you.
Damn it!
Now I could hear that. You have to say it loudly.
I will float around people's faces for a while before I find the water skin and enter said water skin.
Alright. Just like a cooling cloud mist just goes around you. Varkesh in your hair, Varkesh everywhere. Eventually...
I will let you take a guess at what part of me I'm technically rubbing against all y'all.
Oh my god.
But yes, you do eventually kind of get this cloud vapor to go into the water skin once more with like the reverse popping of a lamp. Inside it goes.
Valindra, can I have Winnie now and you watch through him?
Yeah. I will pick up Winnie, kick him on the head, and then put him under Rook's head.
Yep.
Kick him on the head.
Armed with Winnie on the head and Varkesh in the bottle, you make your way forward towards the encampment.
And I am holding onto Smokey's arm so that I can see through Winnie, and I will tell Smokey, as soon as I start to cast Dimension Door, drop concentration.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, as you all keep on edge, prepared, and waiting to see what will happen, Rook, make your stealth check.
20.
Alright. So, You move quietly and carefully up the side of this mesa, keeping yourself to the edge, trying to make sure no one sees you as you look, dart, move, poke around, make your way up. You eventually get near to the point where your head can start to peek over the top. As you carefully do this and look over, you can see what appears to be a flat segment of stone with what appears to be a circular section in the middle, kind of made of like a dirt or sand. Hard to tell exactly what, but you can see in the center of it a tall boulder, almost like an obelisk in nature, but very crudely made, and it seems to kind of move up in a round, jagged nature. At the center of it, you can see what appears to be a set of 16 different runes that have been made into what appears to be kind of like pressing stones. Around it, you can see what appears to be 2 tents, one very large, nicely built and constructed near the back, kind of nestled into the mountainside wall to protect it from the wind and weather. Another one is just perched to the left side, a little bit smaller, but no less useful and well built. You can see the 3 carts are positioned around this mesa, either acting as parking positions or as also as like makeshift barricades to defend themselves if need be. You can see that there are 3 horses tied off to the side, each of them just keeping casual grazing on the nearby grass that has grown on top of this little cliffside. And there are 4 individuals around this rock, 2 of which seem to be carrying large broadswords, relaxing and seeming to converse with one another. You can see what appears to be a pair of dice going between the 2 of them. They don't seem to really be paying much mind to the actual landscape around them. One individual, crossbow in hand. Kayla, you're a little loud with the mic picking up everything.
Cat.
Sorry, I just kept hearing.
Yeah, sorry, my cat's being a nuisance.
That's
I
a
mute
cat?
myself while I fix it.
Hey, don't see the tail?
Stuff around.
Oh, okay. I thought the cat was just constantly going, just hissing and everything. But yes, so you definitely see one individual that looks to be the lookout. Eyes peering around, crossbow at the ready, looking about and doing like a kind of small patrol around the edge, looking and walking. That's the one that looks to have been the head that you saw just for a brief moment before it kind of kept going away. As you timed your approach to make sure to avoid being spotted, you do see there is the last individual, hooded in a blood-red kind of cloak, pushed over his head. You can't see much detail for the face, but they do seem to be by the tent. They're sitting down, looking at what appears to be a book of some sorts, just a kind of little sketchbook or a notepad, kind of one of the same, but he is just casually reading, sitting on what looks to be like a makeshift stump-made stool, just right in front of the smaller tent. And just so you can get that little view...
Oh my god!
Oh, sweet. Oh, jeez. Based on tokens, 2 berserkers, a veteran, and a caster of some sort.
Yep.
That's gonna be fun.
I'm sure there's more
There's
in the
more of the
tent.
tents.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. That's just what we can see right now.
But yeah.
Cool.
So you're currently positioned a little bit towards the actual last ledge edge. So you're kind of right here. Right there, just peering over the top.
Is it okay if the rest of us drag our tokens to the very edge of the map just for, in case we need to roll initiative, we can just...
Oh, sure, yeah. You can put them into the bottom left corner of the map if you'd like. But yeah, that's what you see.
Okay. Am I able to try to time a dash up to here, remaining stealth?
You can certainly try.
Alright, I'll give it a go.
Alright.
Hate it when they say
Go
that.
ahead and just make your stealth check flat.
25.
Alright. As you wait and time it, you figure the one who's looking at the book doesn't really pay much mind. The two that are rolling the dice, you wait until the roll hits just as you time as the other one patrols and looks away as you quickly get over the edge and dart off to the side, getting behind or under the carts to keep out of sight.
Okay.
Just quickly.
Definitely want to go for under the cart if possible here.
Yeah, you're under the cart.
And while I'm under the cart, I'd like to... Yeah. I'll take a dagger and start sawing at some of the spokes when I go to the point where if it takes on much more weight or it starts moving, it will snap, but only when it gets to that point.
Okay, just kind of sabotaging the wheels a bit, using what you can to loosen and pull out what appears to be the spokes, or just kind of get them just to the point where they will start to maybe fall if they move too fast or quickly. You begin this tedious task as you go one to the other. It doesn't take much to do it. You just kind of begin to pry off the little locks that keep the wheel in place. And they begin to hit the floor, each one. Each wheel looks to have been successfully sabotaged, taking you no more than about 5 minutes to do.
Go up to the next cart and do the same?
As you're doing this, make a stealth check for me.
Okay.
Alright.
28.
You time yourself very carefully and quietly, and you will once more break under cover and move to the next cart. No one seeming to be the wiser yet.
Well, I'll repeat my sabotage action.
With your rinse and repeat, you take another 5 minutes, and you also dislodge and loosen each of the 4 wheels, figuring they would topple if they were to move.
Alright. So at this point, I don't see much in the way of options to continue sabotaging. I'll whisper very quietly to Winnie. What do you think?
About what?
Well, I could put Varkesh on that spellcaster, but there's probably others in the tents. I don't want to get any closer than I already am in case there's that spell, but... This is risky, but we can push our attack.
This is what we came for.
Can I hear at least Valence's side of the conversation?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will hold please, Brooke, and then I'll tell Smokey what do you think we should do.
Has he found out where the captives are?
Have you found out where the captives are?
Best guess would be that larger tent, just based on the sheer amount of them, but I don't see them around up here.
Possibly the larger tent in the back, but he's not sure.
Alright, can Bolindra, what can you see? There's dimension door, oh, you don't even have to see, you just have to imagine. So
yeah, and I can see through Winnie's eyes.
That's true, yeah, so you're fine. What? I think this is as good as we're gonna get.
Yeah. I think this is it. It's now or never.
Okay, I whisper into the little Varkesh in a bottle. Varkesh, are you ready? 1 smoke wisp for yes, 2 for no.
1 part.
I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. I mean, what is a smoke wisp? As in, like, do I just like smoke rings, like a signal or something?
It's up to you to interpret it how you wanna.
Sadly, there's not much you can do to interpret. I mean, you can try to do the farting noise out of the thing. 2 farts for yes, 1 fart for no, but I mean, that's about it.
Like, move partially out and back in once or twice.
I will signal my understanding by leaving, like, almost like extending a misty hand out and just shoving 2 fingers in his nostrils.
I mean, it's a very weird kind of, like, clump of mist that comes to your face, but...
Okay.
That was strange and rude, but okay. I will move 5 foot this way, take careful aim on the mage, and fire the Varkesh bolt.
The Varkesh bolt.
So you're actually making an attack on the mage with the bolt?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
I am going to make you, next session, a crossbow bolt that's 8 foot in size and blue.
Oh my god.
I don't think that it'll work on a hand crossbow, but okay.
And as soon as he fires Varkesh at the mage, I'm going to Dimension Door Smokey and myself up to this ledge up here, if I can.
So, as you aim your bolt and you get ready to fire as Valindra is poised and ready, watching through Winnie's eyes, keeping an eye out for this sudden surprise attack. We're going to go on a break, because you guys can go ahead and get yourself, situated, use the bathroom, get anything you want to drink, and get that out of the way as you engage in battle. So yeah, go ahead, step up, and we'll let you do that while any of those who wish to stay can discuss, and we'll talk with those in the chat. Hi, chat. But yeah, so far, I'm very curious as to you guys. You're very cautious. It's nice. Caution's good.
Well, learning from our mistakes.
We definitely didn't shine our brightest in the last combat with these guys.
I just want to know what's wrong with Brooke. I roll so bad every time. God damn it. It's been supposed to be out for like a month now.
You're at work doing all your super science stuff, and you just slam your experiment down, breaking, going, I have to know.
I'm so angry.
I mean, everyone just gets this much closer, and it's like... I mean, he rolled a natural 1. It was so close.
I know. I have not rolled above a 10 to medicine check Brooke to find out what the heck is wrong with him.
No. You burned all those 20s at the beginning.
I didn't mean to.
There were so... I mean, God help me out. The NPCs were rolling 20s left and right. There were so many not 20s.
Yeah. Make them stop that.
It's Roll20's fault, I say.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Roll20 has it out for us.
Specifically, I think, to you.
Yeah. Although, I don't know. You were getting it pretty bad in the Monday game last week, too.
Oh, I always expect Monday to go poorly for me.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, it's just like, if you expect it to happen daily, you're just never disappointed with it. You're just like, alright, this is gonna happen. I'll be fine.
Just aim low.
Plan for failure and, cheer at the sudden success.
That hasn't worked for me yet, sadly. I've come to expect nat ones at every roll, and it just seems to encourage it.
Damn you, nat ones. This does give me the time to get the sheets out for the people you're gonna face.
Could you just, reduce them all to half health or something?
Oh, if I can... This is actually beneficial for me. Incredibly beneficial for me. We're on a cliff. I can quite literally carry up to about 1 metric ton. I can throw people off cliffs.
Oh, nice.
I
mean, I don't want to jinx us here, guys, but I think we have a pretty good plan.
I mean,
the one thing is, you and I are very close together for that stupid wall of force thing, and I can't really get away from you because you put me on a ledge.
Though thankfully, Varkesh and Rook would not be near you, so that if that does happen, we could literally focus fire and pummel the hell out of the mage.
Yeah, and there's a boulder right there, so I think I can hop down using a quasi-easy acrobatic check, I would imagine.
If I kill Smokey by making him jump off of a cliff onto a boulder, I'm going to feel so bad.
Yeah. Smokey's pretty resilient overall.
All right, now with you guys all back, we can ensue some combat. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us get this going.
So he technically attacks the mage with the bolts. So he gets attacked, and then what? I just randomly pop out.
Valindra. As soon as Valindra teleports us, I'm going to drop concentration, which is just a free action, and you explode out of the water skin.
So he gets hit with the bolt and with a Varkash.
Hilarious.
I'm pretty excited.
Like a sucker.
All right. Yeah. So let's see. It's down to you guys to roll your initiatives.
Woo!
Oh no.
We get a surprise round then as well.
You do get a surprise round. Absolutely. Ooh, nat 20.
Ooh, nice, Connor.
Very nice.
Oh, guys, this is already going better than last time.
Amazing what some setup can do.
All right. So, at the top of the round, we have Smokey. You get to go first.
Does Varkash get his attack first, though?
Well, you can basically hold your action in a sense. Like you all have a surprise round at this point, but if you wanted to do anything prior to it, in a sense, you could do that. You could, obviously your first thing is to break concentration as the bolt has gone. So the bolt is gone. The bolt has been fired. And you then Dimension Door and Varkash is there. So you can break concentration and Varkash will appear right next to the person.
Got it.
And then you would all have your surprise round.
I am going to cast my 1/5 level spell of the day.
Do I need to roll my attack for the bolt then?
Yes, go ahead and roll for your attack with the bolt, because that'll just go right to him.
Go ahead.
And just to clarify what I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt to grapple the mage.
Okay, absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay. 23.
23. All right. As you do that, from behind, you just quietly fire it, and it just embeds in the guy's neck. And he falls over dead.
Oh, shit.
Well, I will take it.
Holding this, Smokey was preparing something. He was like, shit, he knew it. And instead, he likes horses. Can he do it so that he doesn't kill the horses?
That was too easy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. This wagon's gonna go boom, but that's okay. So from here, come on, ping. He's going to cast a fireball, just 3rd level.
All right, a 3rd level fireball. As you shoot it out, 20-foot range. It does hit Varkash.
I moved it so the horse. Well, he's resilient.
Oh, like that makes it any.
It does actually. You take half damage.
I would have preferred to have taken no damage.
But yeah, Varkash, please make a dexterity saving throw for me. Actually, did you break your concentration yet?
I actually probably wouldn't have if I had the choice and I was casting spells and stuff.
You would do your spell bop and then you would have released it?
Yeah.
All right, because you are quick to the ball.
Natural damage.
Intelligent and tactful, you shoot out this first as basically, Varkash, you are a gas and are immune to this damage.
Okay, I'm gonna actually just see what deck save would have been. Yeah, I would have been very upset.
Yeah, but no, you absolutely no, you kill him, no problem.
That's too easy. I don't like this.
But yeah, no. So that's a deck save from all the rest. Okay, well, let's see how well that goes.
Good damage too.
Let's see. So we get from the 2 guys. Nope. They take full damage. And let's see here. Just barely saves. All right. So the 2 guys playing dice did not see this coming and immediately get engulfed in the fireball as they just topple over, taking the full damage from this attack. They look to be pretty well singed from that one. Luckily, the patroller, who's already on edge, sees the fireball and immediately just reflexively ducks away, taking only half.
Luckily.
Lucky for him.
Which is what you would see. That'd be a 28, so that's 14. All right.
14. Yeah.
Okay.
And after that, seeing the guy just now a burning pile of red robes, I'm like, damn it! And he's gonna move his movement to move to the over here away from Olindra. So hopefully he doesn't get trapped in another bubble.
Yeah, as you drop your concentration.
Yep, drop concentration.
And Varkash, you immediately burst out of the water skin, raging out.
I choose you!
You did
And I'm
choose.
like, ah! It's already dead.
Valindra, it's your turn.
Okay. So I would have been able to tell that these guys hit hard based on the last fight, right?
Now you seem
Actually,
to
I
do
don't
a bit
know
of striking
if
against
anyone-
Varkesh, but
Okay. Well, in that case, I will cast is it Ray of Enfeeblement
oh, all right.
on this closest guy.
Okay, they make a con save, right?
Well, I have to roll to hit them first.
All
and
right,
if it
all right,
hits-
right. So go ahead and roll for your attack.
Can I roll to attack, please? Okay, I'm just gonna do d20 plus. 9.
That hits.
22.
Oh yeah. It strikes him, and as
Just
it
start
does,
rolling.
it sinks into him, and you see him just kind of convulse a little bit as suddenly he looks to be withered, his own muscles just diminishing a little bit as just like all the strength is sapped. He looks
Okay,
much more frail.
And so, at the end of each of his turns, he makes a con save,
Right.
which will probably be, but hopefully it'll help a little bit. Okay.
Rook?
The end.
My turn?
Yeah, that's your turn.
Okay. Am I still considered to be hidden, or do they know I'm here?
They would have seen you fire off and you didn't bonus hide yet, so you're kind of like outside the cart a little bit in that mid-motion.
Okay. In that case, I will go ahead and take some movement to put myself. Just a moment here. I'm gonna check a thing. All right. Yeah. I'll put myself right here for my movement. I would like to then go ahead and ready an action to shoot my crossbow at the first target that Varkesh gets close to.
Okay.
Like the grant sneak attack. And then turn. Oh, actually, on top of that, I'll go ahead and use my bonus action to use Insightful Fighting on him, the
All
veteran.
right. Okay. Yeah, you definitely can tell that his armor is very poorly made, and if you aim between the cracks, it'll go right through.
Excellent. All right, and turn.
All right. Varkesh, bursting forth from this water skin, you emerge here.
I will, upon seeing the one that I was going to attempt to grab, all of a sudden just turn into a pile of ash, I will then proceed to the next nearest person to me. But as I close the gap, I want to see if these were the people that we were after.
All right, well, from general glancing, the one veteran that you're going for, the one with the crossbow, he does have a familiar face that you recognize from the cart.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, I'm going to go literally right up to him, and I'm going to attempt to grapple him.
Okay.
Athletics or
It is athletics, yeah.
26.
Ooh, super nice. He's going to try to break free. 21 does not succeed. You successfully restrain this guy, holding onto him, keeping him from moving.
Okay.
Okay, can I get my shot now?
And try and use any distance I have left to try and... Wait, could I take him closer towards the cliff edge?
You can. You can move half your movement according to drag them with you, basically.
Okay, so I moved...
Ooh.
You moved 10 already, so you have another 10 movement to be able to drag the individual.
Doing a 3 on dice. That's rough.
Alright. Okay. And yes,
Use my
you
free-
fire your crossbow bolt. 12.
What are you doing?
12 does not hit, sadly, as you see it just off of some of the splint armor that he's wearing.
Every time I attack a fucking veteran.
True. Last session, man, you were rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. As Varkesh begins to pull him out and around, the two immediately see the two targets, one going straight towards Varkash to try and free his friend, the other one going towards Rook. Moving at high speeds to just chop the bird in half. So first one, Rook. You see as he does, he begins to kind of charge, and his own rage takes him as he roars and just goes, "Ah!" and slams his own axe down on you. 21.
That'll hit.
All right.
Does he get disadvantage on that? Was that the guy that I hit with Rave Enfeeblement?
You did, yeah. And
Is that at disadvantage?
21. Yeah.
No, he just deals half damage with his attacks.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, so don't worry. But it's 21.
Just kidding.
So he would have dealt 7 slashing plus 2 to his rage. So, but halving that to 9 goes down to 4. You take 4 slashing damage.
Yeah, I'll take it.
As the second axe comes down, and he tries to cleave you again. 16 to hit.
Misses.
Alright, so that one you're able to quickly tumble roll out of the way, avoiding the second biting axe. The other one goes for Varkash. This one, he tries to... Actually, he's going to try and do a tug of war to get his ally away from you. So it's going to be a contested strength check at that point. So Varkash, I need you to make a strength check for me.
Would that be athletics too?
Yeah, I guess since grapples are athletics, you can just, do that. And then he gets to do it with advantage because he is raging. But yeah, go ahead and roll your 23. 21. You're able to keep him from pulling him away as his first action is just to... It's not working. Every time he tries to pull him off, you just keep him there. So now there's this weird version of he's grappling and he's holding him. So you feel like if you were to try and do anything, you might have to contest against his strength to pull him free, but it's kind of like this sort of, my toy. But, the veteran does not like this, and he is immediately going to try and break free from you, Varkash. Make another athletics check.
Okay. Nat 20.
Nice!
16, no. And with that nat 20, I would say not only does he fail to break free, you actually just kind of pull him even harder, and he actually is slipped from the grasp of the other individual.
I just hold him up to my snout and go, "Can you fly, Bobby?"
And it is Smokey's turn.
Do I see anyone coming out of the tents or anything?
No one seems to be emerging from the tents.
I get my handy dandy ruler. Okay. Super. Okay. Just a quick look over at this obelisk monolith guy. Does it look super ancient? Does it look... Do I have any sort of arcana knowledge of just a quick glance of... If I happen to destroy it, would I be distraught?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Perception. 17?
I would say you can see that there's not much coming from the tent, and there's enough commotion that has been stirring about that you feel if anyone was inside, they should have come out by now. In both tents, pretty much. You'd guess that they're pretty empty.
Okay. Smokey is going to try and jump down to this little boulder, and if necessary, onto the cart, and just get onto the ground.
Oh yeah, you can easily just slide in.
Oh, nice.
Bump your way down.
So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and I'll use feline agility. And I'm going to go to the mouth of this tent. What do I see?
Inside, there looks to be what appears to be a small cot and a little bit of what looks to be like a chest, a tiny kind of like clothing chest, maybe no bigger than 3 feet in length, and it just looks to be a tiny little makeshift place to call home. You do see the stump that was there where the individual was reading behind you, and the book on the ground, but that's about it.
Okay. Since I have double movement, I'm going to try and make it to this other tent. Begin.
At a quick glance, it looks to have at least 3 cots in there, each of which seems to be poised into one of the crossed corners. and kind of like nestled in there with a large pole tent in the middle, you can see what appears to be just makeshift bedding areas and places to rest, and a small supply crate. You can see maybe bolts, crossbow bolts in there. That's about it.
No people, though.
No people.
In that case, time to use action. I'm gonna do a little cantrip. We're gonna do a produce cantrip, and we'll do it on probably this barbarian right here. 16 to hit.
Ooh, that does hit.
Yep, lousy damage.
Nice.
7 fire damage.
Well, it still does full damage to the one at Rook, right?
I did the one by Varkesh.
Oh, Varkesh. All right, that one. Sorry. Yes, so you deal 7 damage. Full on fire as it reaches and goes around, and then hits him right on the back as it scalds and burns his skin.
Okay, and I'll yell out, "There's no one else in the tents, guys!"
All right.
Okay, good to know.
Valindra, your turn.
Okay. I will Eldritch Blast that guy.
All right, blast away.
Okay.
That hits. That just hits. Ooh, 16 force. Yes, not bad. And he is not resistant to it, as you just see the first blast, boom, hit him, and he just kind of spins slightly off the way as he looks up, and then you see the other one smack him on the head. Just kind of this continual double blast.
Okay. And did he make a Constitution save at the end of his turn?
He did not. Let's see if he does. Nope. He's still feeble.
Okay. Well, that is my turn.
Okay. Rook.
Ooh. I will send Winnie out from Rook's hood and within 100 feet of me.
Okay, alright. As the fox just jumps out and scurries and runs underneath some cover from the carts. Just kind of getting out of the way.
Yeah. Get him out of danger.
Rook, it's your turn.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and take my insightful fighting off him and try to do it to the guy right in front of me for my bonus action.
Alright.
Ooh, I rolled real low on that.
Ooh. Yeah, you get the sense that every piece of him is a weak point that you could exploit, because this one doesn't seem to wear much armor at all.
Fair enough. Right. I'll use my action to try to cut him with my silver rapier.
Sure, go right ahead.
13.
Well, 17, because you... Oh no, you're 13. The 13 hits. It hits.
I will take it. It takes... Ooh, that's a lot.
Holy shit.
31 points.
You do see that it is halved, but it does bury itself in there hard. He looks bloodied and hurt as you just dig it in, and he just kind of pulls it out, just trying to like keep the pain away, but it just starts to bleed excessively. The wound right near a very vital point. He looks to be in bad shape.
That'll end my turn.
Alright, Varkesh, it's your go.
Okay, I'm going to throw this guy, this gitch face, clean off the cliff.
Okay, so you're going to
Off
move.
the cliff.
Yep, just off he goes.
So go ahead and make a we'll just make this as a strength check to see how well you can throw him away. Like if you can clear launch him, he has no chance of basically trying to grab onto the rocks. In
Just
a sense. Yeah, just flat strength. Okay, it gives him a chance to try and grapple on, so he is going to make a dex save to see if he can not, like, slip and fall.
You'll make it.
With a 9, you see him...
Oh, I love
That's a shitty way to go.
Okay, that is 80 feet. It'll take next round for him to fully hit the ground. So it's 1d6 for every 10 feet, so that's 8d6.
Holy shit.
Another fireball.
I guess Bobby couldn't fly.
Alright, 23.
And then I'll turn my attention towards the barbarian and just give him the biggest, toofiest, cheekiest grin on the planet.
Okay. And he just sees you do that, and he, instead of trying to save his ally, no longer able to, pulls out his own weapon and tries to cleave at you in vengeance. Just unrelenting attacks. 23.
It hits.
Alright, you take 10 slashing damages. The first one gets right into the edge of your armor as you feel a hot slice on your flesh. The second axe bringing itself down. 24 to hit.
Yes.
You take another 13 slashing damage as he just does a cleaving in, just getting a little bit in each of your neck muscles. But
That's fine.
it kind of hurts a little bit. But I mean, yeah, he definitely was
My cleric.
enraged.
He's not going to kill me.
But yeah. Smokey.
All right. I am gonna focus on this guy right here, the one by Rook, because he looks a little bit worse off, and I'll do another. Actually, how far away? Yeah, I won't move, so I'll get my agility back, and I'll use another Produce Flame cantrip. That is a 24.
Yeah.
8
that
fire
absolutely
damage.
hits. 8 fire damage. Nice. So yeah, as you once more continue the barrage of fire on this guy behind him, he just burns a little bit more as the ember just crackles and pops onto his skin, burning it and giving that noticeable scent of meat roasting on a pit. But yeah,
Hawaiian
do you
dog.
live at all?
Nope, I'm gonna get 0 movement, so I get my agility back.
Right. Valindra.
Okie dokie, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the same guy's face off.
As you blast him hard, and okay, well the first one hits.
Take it.
7 force, not bad. Actually, as you launch that one, and the first one hits, it goes right to his head, and as it does, decapitates him. As the second blast goes right to the head, just hits nothing, for there is nothing left to hit.
Amazing.
You did blast his face off like you wanted.
I literally blasted his face. I was so excited. Can I action surge
Yes.
and cast Ray of Enfeeblement on the last remaining barbarian?
Yes, you did not cast a spell, you only used your cantrip, so yeah.
26!
Oh, that hits. Yeah.
Ha!
As the second sickly ray goes towards the one Varkesh, you see the one in front of you as his muscles begin to withdraw, as he becomes more sallow and just this shrunken form a little bit. He just looks weakened. He's trying to rage, but he looks a little... breathing heavily. Harder to keep his axe up.
See, now this is what steroids do to you. Unlike me, who's naturally muscly, if you cheat, you go fly, which you're about to do.
Oh yeah, I get a strength check, so disadvantage for that spell.
Doesn't do anything with strength checks based on the what you got.
Yeah, no, I thought so too, but it just does half damage for any strength-based melee attacks.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Rook, what do you wish to do? There's one left.
Go ahead and place myself right there. And stab him in the back of my rapier.
Go right ahead. That hits.
Only 19
damage. Nice. He looks very hurt, as you can see that you just shrink it right up into the back as you see it pierce through and up out of his neck before you pull it down, leaving a very nasty gushing wound. He looks weak from the spell. He's just like barely holding on, breathing heavily.
And I'll go ahead and say right into his ear, I think you should tell us where your friends are. And then his turn.
All right. Varkesh.
Funny enough, I was going to do the exact same thing after that rook poking that he just got. Out, and I'll grab him by his neck, attempt to grapple him.
Okay. Go ahead and make a athletics check. I think he makes this a disadvantage because of the enfeeblement.
No, it's not disadvantage.
It's just for attacks.
Okay, only... Alright.
Sadly.
It is only a second level
You
spell.
still get advantage, but yeah, 26.
Ooh, nice.
Then I will say to him, just the fucking Vader choke. I find your lack of faith disturbing. I will then say to him, and after just like kind of leaning down and illuminating, your friends are all gone. You've just watched one take a swan dive off the edge of this cliff. If you tell us where your friends are, I'll heal you, let you go.
Okay, is this intimidation or persuasion now?
Or deception.
Are you lying?
I'm in the air about it. He will be.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll say your choice. Which you can choose either to make your intimidating part the most threatening, or the one where it's like you're trying to let him see that the whole. And hey, guess what? If you stop now, you live. So either choose deception or intimidation as your choice.
If he did intimidation, would it be at advantage because of what Rook said at the end of his turn?
I'd say you get advantage on this because it's.
Oh, like my deception and advantage mods are the exact same, so I'll go for intimidation.
All right, you make this with advantage because Rook is aiding you in this.
Holy shit.
Okay.
For an 8-foot tall dragon guy, I'm not very scary, apparently.
Yeah. You see that as you definitely both pursue this kind of, save yourself, give up. He just looks enraged, and you see him just angered beyond belief as he just takes a swing at you to try and retaliate as he brings his axe up and tries to cleave at your hand.
Okay.
He feels like you're not true to your word, or you're going to be evil in it. 9 misses. 21
Misses.
Kings off your bracers, just unable to get past the metal as he just is struggling, trying to get you. Smokey.
Yeah, seeing this happen and the first thing of persuasion not go so well, Smokey will say, wait, I got an idea. And he is going to cast Sleep at 2nd level.
Okay.
Does he have 27 hit points or less?
Oh, he does. And as you do, you see him immediately fall unconscious as he falls asleep for a brief minute.
All right. Does anyone have ropes?
Well, that mithril chain that I have is 4 foot in length. We can probably tie him up. That the obelisk might be a good idea, but I don't think we have enough room for that.
I want to examine this obelisk anyway.
Hang him off the edge.
All right.
I'll run over, grab the mithril rope here, or mithril twine.
Yep.
Wire. We'll come back and try to bind his hands and feet together like a hog tie.
All right. So you begin the hog tying just to kind of get him completely bound. And as you do, Smokey, you inspect the obelisk.
Yeah.
Make an investigation check.
I wanted to check that out as well.
Make it with advantage.
Yeah. Advantage makes things better.
Ooh.
Well.
For me.
All right. So, as you inspect the obelisk, you notice that there are 16 rune-like sigil buttons that seem to be kind of pressed and made right at the heart of this face towards the center, looking at you. You also notice that as you're looking at this and looking around, you notice that the ground beneath you is soft enough, and there are footprints that seem to have been leading towards the obelisk and disappear underneath it, as if it's covering something. You also notice that with that nat 20, that the actual person who was robed and looking at a book, you can see that in the book, one of the pages has a symbol, and you start to recognize it as matching one of the symbols on the rock. And as you quickly pick up the book, you can see that there is a pattern. What looks to be a password associated with the symbols drawn out in a very crude mapping on the actual sheet, as if they've just been marked, and they look to be hovering in place and kind of positioned towards which button to push.
And this is a journal, it's not a spell book or anything.
It looks to just be a normal kind of sketchbook notebook, and as you kind of inspect it a little bit further, you can see that there are what looks to be daily logs, entries about people coming in, seeing and spotting things, taking out scouting parties and hunting parties that are in the nearby area and preventing them from relaying their location, you see that it's kind of like a nice little calendared record of all the events that have transpired for at least a month.
Alright, looks like this is a pretty established campsite here, and I guess that this obelisk thing is the way... The carts, as you can tell, definitely came here. I think they used the obelisk to transport someplace else, and using the ruins on the obelisk, that sort of determines where you go. I don't know if there's only one place. I have one combination. I don't know if there's any more.
Okay. Well, it's a good starting point, at least.
Great, it's something to work with. I think we should pump this guy for some more information, and then we should use that to try to decide if we should go in or wait for others to come out.
Okay. You should wake up right about...
I will hold the guy over the edge, upside down.
Oh, God.
Okay, so as you just, wait for the spell to wear off, you eventually have him dangling over there as he just pretty much comes to, looks around. You break the enfeeblement, I'm sure, at this time. It's only a minute for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's no longer enfeebled, but he is completely restrained by these little hog-tied mithril wires, and he is just kind of slowly coming to as he just looks around. The blood loss has gotten to him. He's barely keeping any kind of consciousness of what's going on, but he eventually sees you.
Hey,
So I peek over the edge and look at him like, it really is in your best interest. Just tell us everything you know here.
He looks and sees and kind of panics a little bit as he notices where he's at. He just looks at you. Looks at
He can
Markesh.
pull you back up. He's very strong. This doesn't have to go this way.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. As the pair of you are trying to coax him to your side.
Come. Oh, my God.
Garbage.
Okay, so he just looks at you, and though you try to be, friendly and trying to say, come on, be a good guy, he just perceives you as liars, and you'll just probably kill him anyways. He looks to that kind of, resolve to dying, as he just, he looks at that moment of panic and fear, and the fact that suddenly it washes over him. Relief. This is it. He never thought it would come, but now he doesn't feel fear, he just feels that acceptance. And he just looks at you, and with his own little kind of last version of resilientness and hate, he just spits right in your face.
Face.
Dodge out of the way.
Yeah, sure.
If he's being particularly difficult, it's not ideal, but we can hang around for an hour and I have something I can try.
I'm not in any rush.
Maybe he would like to talk to a lovely lady. Maybe she might convince me not to let him swan dive off the edge of this cliff. That means you, Valindra. Come here.
I will pop around Markesh. Just, hey, buddy.
Friend zone instantly.
Maybe you should, tell him, what you know. Because, if you don't, he's going to drop you, you're going to die, I'm going to cast a spell on your corpse, and you're going to tell us information anyway, so, you could just live and give us answers. Just saying.
Go ahead and make your persuasion check with disadvantage. As he has a bit of resolution right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Persuasion. God damn it.
You really try, but he did see, as he looks at you, this feigned version of sincerity is still mixed with this tiefling-esque appearance, this devil-like nature that still embodies you, and as you do this and you try to smile, it comes off a little bit more creepy and foreboding, and he just looks and he can see his own friend in the distance decapitated completely by one of your spells, so he just kind of frowns and looks at you and just goes, "Hell, bitch," and spits at you.
Okay, yeah, drop him. I'll cast a spell on him. We'll get our answers anyway. Drop him, bash his head against the rocks. I don't fucking care. Actually, can I? And I'm gonna start conjuring Eldritch Blast.
Whoa. How about we give the cat a try? And just looking at it, really creeped out, just
I think we've tried to be nice long enough. I think this guy obviously wants to die. We might as well grant his wish.
I pull out one of the napkins I stole from the lily, and I just like very nervously give it to Valindra to wipe off the spit that she just accumulated. Like, Smokey, did you want to give this a shot?
I mean, I guess I can try. It won't hurt at this point. He's actually going to walk over to where he is, like on the little steps, and he's just going to swing his little legs over, so he's just sort of swinging.
Oh.
Hi, my name's Smokey. You guys, you had your night last night. We had our day today, and it doesn't have to be bad. I mean, I don't know if you have like stuff to live for, if you have family. I got some family, and that's a good thing. And so, if you want to see them, I mean, we could let you do that. I mean, I don't know if you're more of a family man or a career man. Because if you're a career man, you probably want to like stick to your guns and like stick to your boss and all that stuff. But if you're a family man, I mean, you can see your family.
As you drone on, he just kind of looks at Varkesh. Just end it.
Not even.
I don't know. I'm kind of having fun with this. It's fun to listen to.
I mean, you definitely drolled on a little bit, and the failures of 3 failures in a row.
Right. Okay, I'm just going to give this one last shot. I'm just going to full Hail Mary attempt. Just going to make this one final shot. I'm going to hold him, and I'm going to literally look at him, like turn him around like a hanging piece of ham, and then just go, as a matter of fact, you put up more of a fight than the rest of them did. I'm awfully hungry. I have not eaten since traipsing up this godforsaken mountain. I just might keep you around. After all, meat tastes better the longer lives. And you're in luck. I'm a cleric, so I can keep you alive for an ungodly amount of time.
I just pulled up a dagger and
You
I'm like,
see
take a finger.
as you say this, he just looks at you, and you see his own rage building up again, his veins throbbing as he just... Make a athletics check for me.
I still have Eldritch Blast prepared, so if he tries to go anywhere, I'm going to bop him.
Okay.
Well, he is also hanging over the edge.
He does look like he's about to assault Varkesh.
Yeah, I'll bop him.
Alright, so fire your thing away. Okay, that misses. But yeah, and he rolls a 15. Barely holds on. You barely keep hold of him, but he just starts to sway as he's trying to let you release him and just let himself drop to his death. It looks like he was trying to just get you off of him so he could fall.
I just look to the rest. Just should I?
I mean, it's what he wants at this point.
All right.
Just drop him. I'll ask him questions while we rest.
Okay. Well, it's an 80-foot drop, so unless you're going to climb down there, I'm going to take him back. I'm going to rest him on his back right over the edge of the cliff till his head hangs over. Just going to lift my big old right foot and just slam down.
No. I need the jaw. The jaw.
I'm breaking his neck. I'm curb stomping him until he dies.
Okay.
Okay. He is on the ground. He is restrained and he is prone, so you do make your attacks with advantage.
Do I roll for foot attack, break neck?
It'd be strength. It'd be a flat strength roll. Unarmed attack.
First attack.
That misses.
I have size 40 feet.
I know, but you try to aim for the neck, and instead you just kind of hit the chest, which doesn't really do anything, just kind of like... And you see him try to get away from you as he kicks off and tries to roll away. Please make another athletics check.
My God. You try and be nice, and we can't even kill him right.
I know, you guys are just... Okay, alright, so...
My God.
No,
what is that?
He does not succeed. He rolled a 9 with his advantage, so he tries to get away. It doesn't work. He's still stuck underneath you.
Oh, Rook, just...
I'll take my rapier to his throat.
Okay, go ahead and roll for your attack with advantage. That is, yeah, right. And as the struggling ensues, eventually you just slice his neck, and it just the blood begins to pull out as he eventually begins to choke and just pass out as the life bleeds out of him.
I think the ball would have been quicker.
Not really.
Yes, well, it also would have been messier and harder to get the answers that we need.
Messier, he's bleeding out all over the place.
Hey, at least he has an intact head.
That's true. That's going to be helpful.
Throw him back over my shoulder.
Hey, why does that matter?
Whatever.
Oh, electric.
Yeah. So I think I actually did it in the cave that you.
Oh, you did. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, I can sort of bring them back for a brief amount of time and question them.
It's kind of creepy, but
Very useful.
Did you, I was going to say, you remember, you used your scepter and everything. Did you wish to use the scepter or just your normal spell?
Because I'm out of spells right now, so we'll have to take a short rest. But then I was going to use the scepter to get that extra question.
That's fine. Yep. So you can use the scepter if you'd like. All right.
Yeet.
So you bring the corpse over as Varkash has him hauled on his shoulder, and you have him flopped onto the ground, and you begin to cast through your rod the Speak with Dead, and you see the familiar blue glow penetrate out of Valindra's eyes and mouth and go into the Berserker's face, each to the eye and mouth, also sucking into this blue energy as it just slowly fills him up as he just goes fresh and returned, looking about at all of you and focusing then eventually on Valindra. You have 6 questions you can ask.
All right, guys. We've got 6 questions. What do we want to know first?
we should ask him what exactly is on the other side of this obelisk through that rune that Smokey found.
Okay. What's on?
Since he knows the answer to, so that's a good one.
What's on the other side of the obelisk using this pattern? And I'll point to the book that, like, the pattern that,
what
in the
lies
book
beyond
that.
it. Yeah, he just looks back at you and goes, base.
Okay.
Is the entrance watched? Like where this portal lets up?
Okay. Is the entrance heavily guarded through this portal?
There's no portal. No.
This functions a different way then. Interesting.
You did say no.
Who's his boss? Ask him that.
No, that's true.
Do we really need to know that, though, if we're going to go on either way? I would be...
What about if there are any other powerful spellcasters than the one we saw with him last night? Or other spellcasters, period.
Maybe good. I could just ask how many spellcasters are part of your group.
That'll work.
How many spellcasters are part of your group?
He looks around for a moment. 6.
I think he said 6. He didn't come through for me, though.
6.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna kind of look him over. Is he wearing some type of insignia or brand?
Make an investigation check.
We should ask why they're taking prisoners.
No, nothing seems to be there. His hide and armor just seems to be more blood-soaked than anything.
I make an investigation check.
I mean, you can see Valindra looking around. If you want to check out his body too, you can.
Yeah, I'll have a quick looky-loo.
Leslie, we should ask him why they're taking prisoners.
Okay. Why are you taking prisoners?
We were told to.
Of course.
And Varkash, as this is happening and she's asking the question, you do notice there is one tattoo on this individual located just below what appears to be like this little region of the pectoral muscle right under the arm, and as you kind of see the tiny mark, you look at it, you do recognize it. It is a simple symbol, but you can see that it has what looks to be a circle with another circle inside and 3 spikes piercing each of them. This is the symbol of your father's clan.
Oh, shit.
Right. Okay. Shit. Okay. Right. Fine. No, that's totally fine. So upon knowing and discovering that, I'm just going to literally raise my foot and start crushing this guy into pulp while demanding...
Varkesh, that's entirely unreasonable. He's dead.
Just hold on a second, Varkesh. You can, I guess, do that in a little bit. Just hold back.
Are you okay, Varkesh?
Where is he? Ask him where he is.
If I ask him that, he's gonna tell me that he's in this clearing with us. I need more specifics. If you're looking for someone in particular of his group, I'm gonna need his name.
Which is... DM?
Where's my daddy?
I've just known him as Pa!
What's my brother's name? I just knew her as Ma! You remember his name. Urtak.
Quickly. My patience is already wearing incredibly thin.
Okay, where is Urtak? Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
As he looks at you, he kind of blinks. Long gone. To the west.
Well, one thing that we haven't determined yet is whether the captives are even being kept alive.
Okay.
So,
Or if they're even in the space. They may be kept somewhere else.
Say what are the... Go ahead, Smokey.
there's nowhere else for them to go. I mean, we're at a dead end. They had to have traveled through tracks lead here if they didn't go anywhere else. They had to have gone through the obelisk.
That's the most likely result, sure. But are they kept alive?
I mean, I can ask what they're using the prisoners for. That's a little bit more direct.
It's the same thing we asked before.
Well, I asked why they're being taken, just because they were told to. Doesn't necessarily tell us what they're being kept for.
What about what have you seen happen to the prisoners after you drop them off?
If he's even high enough up to know that.
Well, you can at least see what he sees, though. Because I do agree that he's probably just the drop-off errand boy. He just delivers the people and then he leaves. And he's just on sentry duty right here.
I mean, if we ask him only what he's seen, he will only tell us what he's seen. He won't tell us any rumors or anything like that if he's heard something. That's the kind of tricky part about the spell. The dead are very literal. It's exhausting.
We could ask him how many people of his organization are currently in the base.
I don't know if he would know currently if people come and go quite a bit. I mean, there might be other
Well, I
obelisks.
have his journal here, actually.
Well, that's true.
They do keep pretty stringent knowledge of who goes in and out.
Okay,
What about asking, because if we have this journal, we can already get the numbers, but what if you ask him, is there any other way to the space aside from this entrance? So if he says no, then we know this book will tell us everything we need to know.
And there are other corpses around.
that's true. I can only cast this 3 times before we need to rest, though. Yeah, okay. Are there any other entrances into your base?
With that last question, he does look and go, no. And as he tries to say the last bit, the blue essence leaves his body and goes right back into Valindra as you finish the spell.
Arcus just loses his shit and just like stomps on his head until it's pulp.
Alright, with a dead man, it takes you no effort to eventually just...
And I throw this corpse over the edge of the cliff.
I'm going to lean over towards Valindra. Maybe now's a good time for a pastry.
Maybe. I'll pull out a biscuit and I'll walk up to Varkesh.
It's not a pastry. You can't bribe me with...
Varkesh, you have the pastries and they're probably all bad by now. I have a biscuit. Do you want a biscuit?
Don't even acknowledge. Parker's is not very happy right about now.
Do you want a hug?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Just pat him. And I'm gonna look back and I'm just gonna like shrug.
Smokey joins in the hug, and he nods over to Rook like, "Get over here."
Affection, my greatest weakness.
Rook comes over and awkwardly joins the group hug.
As much as I really appreciate this hug, and as much as I'm trying to not electrocute all of you right about now, we have to get to where they are being held very quickly.
I mean,
Okay.
who is Urtag? Who is
that Git so happens to be my father, and he's the one I've been looking for.
Okay. So you know, or you might have an idea at least of what they're using the prisoners for. Do you know?
I can't say specifically what he's using them for, but he is a warlock, so it's not good.
And out of curiosity, is your dad a Goliath or a Dragonborn? You went mute, sorry. Goliath, you said?
He is a Goliath, yes.
All right.
He is a warlock, and he's very absolutely nasty with the fucking work, and it's been my absolute mission since...
We could certainly make our way after him here soon, but like you said, it is best that we get to these people fast.
And he also heard that the guy said that he's not here. He left for the west ages ago, apparently.
Which is a trail. It's more than we had before, but again, we need to take care of what's right in front of us right now.
I can assure you, if he's not there, someone that he incredibly well trusts will be there.
Good chance to throw a wrench in his plans, then, yes?
Hey, Valendra, why don't you come over here and help me analyze this book to see if we can get some numbers on who's in the base at the moment.
Okay, book bonding time.
Okay.
Oh, I would
Buddy.
ask you all a great favor, if you will.
Sure.
If you see anyone of my father's clan and or tribe, don't touch them. They're mine.
How might we determine that?
How to visually determine that?
Yeah.
Generally, it would be me snarling and charging headlong into trying to rip their face off. That would be the first indicator.
Weren't we just talking about how it's bad that I do that?
Yes, but I'm trying to compose myself right about now, because if I see one of them, I'm not going to be able to restrain myself.
I mean, Varkesh, we're about to head into a whole base of them.
I know.
We're not going to just stand back and let you try to kill all of them by yourself. We're going to help you out. You trying to take on that many alone is suicide.
We need to get in there. It'll be some good catharsis for Varkesh, and a little frustrated after last night, so perhaps myself too.
And just quick question, Scott, are you saying he's a warlord or a warlock?
Warlock.
Warlock? Okay.
So I'm going to bust out that logbook and see if I can get some sort of count on how many people the book says are in the base at the moment.
Okay. You scan through the book and read each page. This is, I'm assuming you guys are taking a short rest at this time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Second one?
Well, I mean, you took a long rest. This is your first short rest.
Oh, okay,
Well, I had-
yeah. Well, she couldn't cast that spell until she had a short rest, so...
Yeah, I had to take a short rest to cast that spell.
Oh, I
So
thought
you've
you were
already
doing
taken
that
one
with
rest.
your rod, which is just,
Yeah, but I had already cast Dimension Door, and then I had done the two
Right.
Raven Feet.
Okay. So, yeah. So, all right. So, you had 6... Okay, so during that short rest, you could have analyzed the book, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. You would have put your heads together and figured out that from at least the accounting, they have gathered what appears to be, you could assume, a sum of anywhere between 30 to 50 people. Some of which they seem to mention as killing them on sight, some of which they mention as brought in, but it's hard to tell. As to how many are still alive, you don't know, but over the course of a month, there's been at least 30 or 50.
Okay. Do they mention any sort of, like, their number?
There
Okay.
doesn't seem to be an account of their own numbers. It looks to just be a tally of information of things that have been brought in and actual activity around the space camp.
Not even something like as far as, like, we need more food because more people arrived or that sort of thing?
No.
Okay. Well, from the look of the book, it looks like they got anywhere from 30 to 50 prisoners. I don't know how many are still on this plane, but unfortunately this book didn't tell me much about what we have. But we do know that they have 6 casters, apparently, in their number. Hopefully one of them's your dad, so we don't have to deal with that one.
The city's far west. Either way, we don't have much of a choice. We're going in. Can I also take a moment to grab up my wire as well as any bolts that are scattered around at the moment?
Make an investigation check for your
Just
bolts.
be the one, actually. Yeah, I only fired one.
Yeah,
Like what?
yeah, you're able to recover it. It just went straight through the neck, so it's easy to kind of pull it right out.
So I'm ready to go, guys. I don't know what this will look like when I activate it. So do we have a plan for if we suddenly get ambushed or something? You said it wasn't guarded, but I mean, you never best to be prepared.
Well,
I say scatter just in case. If they have another mage who can get us all together, that's just rotten luck.
yes, we should spread out. Are we trying to take this stealthily or no?
Stealthily, I'd say.
We should probably try to stealth. Barakesh, I know it's going to be tempting to just charge straight in, but
I have an excellent
Really?
vehicle for your delivery if you don't mind going smoke again. I will need someone else's water skin though. Mine's it's dead.
I will just stay silent and withdraw my mace.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually properly use it for my purposes and just say nothing and just wait for the spell to happen.
All right, so sorry, I was just trying to hear past the Belmont. You were.
I know. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what his problem is tonight.
But what spell were you going for?
Who's casting a spell?
I wasn't going for a spell. I'm saying, Varkish, say nothing.
Okay.
He's silently resolved to acting out his own plans, which is kind of obvious by how he holds himself and the fact that he has unsheathed his mace and is holding it apprehensively ready
All
for
right.
a task.
Okay, so you're getting on the edge and ready. Okay. But yeah, so Smokey, you're going to the stone?
Yeah.
All right.
And with my natural 24, can I see if this looks like something that was just made like a month ago when they arrived, or something that was more ancient that they're using for their own purpose or that sort of thing?
Make a nature check.
Oh, it doesn't get to be with my earlier nat 20.
Sorry, the investigation was to initially spot things around you. This is kind of discerning
Okay.
information specifically towards... All right. You can tell that this stone itself actually is not originating here. It is not a boulder that looks like to have been just naturally laying there. It actually looks kind of flat on the bottom and looks to be covering something.
I think there may be something underneath this boulder, guys. Barkesh, do you want to help me shove it aside? Or actually, no, I have a better idea. Well, actually, using magic on it may be a bad idea. Let's try to shove it.
Okay. Varkesh, do you wish to
Okay.
shove?
Yeah, I will either lift, pull, shove, which
I'll give him advantage.
Sure.
I can think of about a ton. So.
As you both begin to press on it and push hard and really press, it doesn't budge.
I'm gonna roll.
I will try to lift it then.
As you try to bring down your hands to find a grip underneath, just maybe barely trying to get any purchase. There's not much to get your fingers in, but you try and try.
Wait a minute.
It doesn't move.
I will attempt to touch one of the symbols on the rock.
Any symbol in particular?
Just a random one.
All right. You push it in, and it stays locked in.
I think this is
I think we should probably enter in the code in that book, and it'll move itself.
I agree.
Worth a try. Do, sol, la, fa, mi, do, re.
Before your last ray, the first one was pushed, and the pattern that you try to replicate in the book does not succeed, as Varkesh has offed it by 1. And so the error of the last one coming in does not fit the correct sequence.
Okay, does anything happen?
You hear a slight and then all of the buttons push out.
Okay. Let's try again.
Syncing with the patterns in the book and correlating them correctly with the ones on there, you eventually get to the last one, and this time you hear as the rock pushes itself back, and you can see an opening, a tunnel system leading down.
Oh, good. Not the tunnel.
Does it look lit at all?
It looks dark.
There we go. Alright. Let's go.
Alright, with your bullseye mouth lantern and ember and the light of the mace of Varkesh behind you, you begin to walk down into the depths of the mountain. It doesn't take you long before you actually start to reach what appears to be, just from around the bend, a slight cavernous cliffside of paths leading deeper into the actual mountain itself as they kind of zig and zag and weave around. And you begin to make your way here. I will pull you guys up. You are here in the upper left of the map. There you go. You begin to enter this cave system. As you can see, it's dark. There's no natural light anywhere that you can notice, and it seems to have this kind of broken tiered pathway that leads into a deep pit in front of you, but there's ravines that hug the side, allowing you to gently continue your way down safely.
Okay, well, am I taking the lead?
I think that's probably a good idea to stick to the typical plan.
Okay, well, let's see. I'm gonna head up towards the top left here.
Okay.
I guess up and left from where we were seeing.
Yeah. You continue your way down. You can see bits of the path and rock leaning left and right as you follow this descent down into the actual heart of this mountainside. It seems quiet and echoing.
I'm going to keep an eye on Varkesh.
Okay.
Make sure he doesn't. Nope, that's what I was afraid of. I'm going after him.
All right, Varkesh, you're going slightly up. There's nothing that leads down from where you're at. You seem to be at a high point, looking down straight at a cliff edge.
Varkesh, we're going this way. I know you're pissed, but we have to stick together, because if you go charging off on your own, there's no way any of us are going to survive. And then you'll never get to teach your father a lesson. So I know you're angry, but you're going to have to reel it in a little bit and try to focus on sticking together and sticking to working as a team in order to get this accomplished. You can't do it on your own.
I will reluctantly turn around.
Okay.
And very slowly past Valindra. And just...
Smokey's unable to see.
Oh no.
Token has no vision.
Oh,
I have no idea what he's capable of.
And I will be attempting to stealth as well for all of this.
I don't know what he's capable of, you're right. I know very little about your father. I know he's a warlock. I don't know any more than that, but You can't get there on your own. I mean, we had some difficulties last night, and that was just a small section of them. We are walking into their base. This is bad. This is a big deal. There's going to be a lot of them there, and we're gonna have to stick together. And we'll find out what he's capable of later. I don't even think he's here. There's probably some answers here as to where he went, but that's as good as we're gonna get from here. We just gotta get through today. You gotta get through today, and then you're one day closer to having your vengeance.
Would you do me a huge favor?
I will try.
If you see me focusing on anyone specifically, know it's bad. And hide.
I'm not gonna just leave you alone. I'll let you do as much as you want. I won't get in your way. But I'm just saying, this is gonna go easier if you let us help you.
I won't deny your help.
Okay, well then, let's go, I guess, kill him if he's here. I don't know. We'll just take it one step at a time. We'll get through this.
He just basically follows Valindra at this point.
I'm still keeping an eye on him.
Okay.
Do I still have to get stealth checks as well?
Oh yeah, should probably roll stealth.
All right. As you move as quietly as you can. All right.
Not bad. Okay, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Rook, you notice with your peripheral vision as you descend further what appears to be an entrance to some sort of kind of like this weird carving that makes a building, a structure in the corner just ahead of you, but you can see just to the glancing left side a dark, giant silhouette, massive in shape, towering high. However, it is positioned on the ground, lowered and chained, arms held wide up towards the ceilings.
Okay. I'll slip back away.
Ideal reaction. Okay.
Meet up with everybody and kind of convey what I'm seeing there.
Chained? I mean, is he like a prisoner?
I can't tell. I just know he's chained. It seems suspicious to me that they would have him here by the entrance, but I'm not convinced he's there as anything more than a leashed guard dog.
And did you say he was bigger than a normal person?
Oh, he's very large. He's a giant.
Okay.
As far as I can tell.
Leashed like that, it makes Varkesh feel very uncomfortable.
I mean, did you...
So, we could try to free it and see what it does. Could try to talk to it. If we talk to it, it doesn't strike me as something that'll be quiet. It's going to draw attention.
Well,
Or we could just leave it and continue in.
if they have it chained, though, I'm sure it doesn't like that. We could set it free and convince it to help us. I don't know. Varkesh, do you know anything about this? Is this some type of... I mean, is this left over from your father's sort of setup? Do you know anything specific about it?
I would say yes, but it has been some time. Chaining is something my father's tribe does quite a lot of, for very specific reasons.
Okay, like, as punishment? Would it be to our advantage to let him go? Or should we just kind of leave him be?
I couldn't tell. I have not seen this creature. I don't even know what or who this individual is. I know that it's practice within my father's tribe to chain to break.
If it's still chained, it may not be broken yet. I don't know if I can communicate with it, but I can try to release its bonds if it doesn't react aggressively if I approach.
Could you take me to it?
Yes, I can. It's not far away. It's just up here towards the left.
I will watch through Winnie's eyes so that if something goes wrong, we can make ourselves known to the beast as well. But
all right.
I will quickly dart across here, then point into the little alcove there as I get across to the other side.
Okay. As you do that and gesture, Varkesh, do you bring your light around? You do, actually. You bring your light around, and it immediately illuminates the area. And as you do, it sheds light on what appears to be a large giant, completely chained with its arms held up to the side, anchored into the wall. As you can see this dark metal, you being a forge cleric, you recognize this as adamantine. This is a strong, sturdy chain that is keeping this creature here. Now, from Rook's initial assessment, he said male. However, as you stare at it a bit more easily with light, it is female. And you can tell that it is a female giant with...
Not those boobs.
A slate-skinned individual with drapings of hide and leather just strewn across with a bit of pelt and fur to give it some covering. But you can see that the head is drooped, but as the light comes up, it lifts and stares at you.
I will instantaneously walk towards it.
It
and I
watches
will
you.
start to it in giant, and I will start speaking to it in giant.
Okay. What do you say?
I assume you hear it against your will, as many others have.
The large creature, as Varkesh starts to mutter in some weird, deep tone, it replies back to him. You assume correct, little one.
First time I've ever heard that. Okay. Who bound you to the wall?
You see the eyes narrow a little bit. That half-breed giant offspring.
Okay. Well, I guess my dad's been busy. What kind of half giant specifically?
She narrows her eyes. Stone. Like me, of course. Since I am its mother.
oh, her baby Jacob.
I see you share very similar family problems with me on this regard. I will ask her if she's familiar with my family.
She replies, I know of that name.
Was he the one that bound you? Like, made your child do so?
She snickers and looks aside. He's responsible for that brat's existence in the first place.
Brother.
He is the one who forced himself on me.
Right. Sorry to hear that. I mean, how do you really why would you let me know about that? That's kind of, how do I respond to that? You know what? Are you injured?
All these varying questions, she just kind of doesn't know where to take it from there, but she just takes the last question. No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you free.
Well, no harm in trying.
Okay. Well, okay. I mean, I have many questions, but right about now, I can't really think of anything to ask you specifically. So I'm going to go and at least attempt to free you. So I will walk up to the walls and bindings, and I will spend my time using everything in my means to do so as a blacksmith and forge cleric to break and or release or reshape the adamantine bonds that hold her.
Okay, so you begin to analyze the bonds. Make a intelligence check with advantage, since this is your element.
That's 20.
All right. You know adamantine. It's a very tough, strong metal, and nothing breaks it easily, really. Once it has been basically purified and put into form, it's very difficult to remove it without heating it to extreme temperatures to melt it down to be molded again. This particular adamantine, though, when you touch it and examine it, it has an essence to it, and you recognize that it is not just a plain chain. There is an enchantment on it. There's some kind of magic that's been etched and kept into the shackles. What it is, you don't know, but it's more than just a normal piece of binding that keeps her bound to the wall.
Spell magic on her bonds.
Okay.
That does. Well,
There a lock.
before you do that, I would probably want to try and identify to see if I can find any sort of thing that would maybe roast you if you tried to pick the lock.
Good point, but will she let us?
Talk louder, Scott.
I have friends back there. Don't get mad.
She just looks up, looks back at you.
Can we come in?
Are you decent?
But seriously, can we come in?
I would say so. I mean, it's not really her room. Or a room at all, for that.
Well, everybody in then. Best be out of sight of that entrance.
Alright, Miss, would it be okay if I I need to touch the bonds.
She looks at you, but doesn't seem to understand your words.
I think there's a language barrier. Arkesh, could you translate?
I'm sorry. He's asking if you wouldn't mind if he approached and inspected your shackles.
She does a best of a shrug and goes, "Do what you like, small thing."
She says yes.
Alright. Being as careful as I can with my claws, I will scale the giant.
You notice that the skin is hard as rock. You don't really puncture it at all when you climb.
Alright, this is good. And on up until he can climb up one of the arms and just lays two hands in it, and he will start ritual casting identify.
Alright.
I want to keep watch at the entrance of this side tunnel while he does that.
Okay.
I'll assist in that.
Alright, yeah. Make a perception check with advantage as you both peer out into the distance. You wait the 10-minute time for the ritual. Smokey, as you cast it on the actual shackles, there is no specific spell that you can recognize initially. There's no name to these. There's no form that you can perfectly attune them to. But you do recognize that they are, as close as you could guess, infused with abjuration magic, and they seem to be made with an arcane lock of sorts. That's the closest spell you can associate it with, but it's much more potent. You notice that it is a higher concentration of that type of magic.
But it is abjuration, and I actually have that spell, and I'm reading it over right now. In fact, let's put it into the chat.
Yep.
That's alter self.
Oh, that's alter self.
Yeah.
Hold on. Arcane lock. There we go. Okay. So it basically raises the DC for unlocking, but okay. So it's like this one spell I have called Arcane Lock, which just makes something more difficult to open with lockpicking, but something tells me that it's been given a lot more juice, and probably any ill attempts will make it go boom. So, that being the case, I mean, I could always turn her into a cloud, and therefore the bonds can't hold her if she's not, solid.
It's a pretty good plan.
Yes, might be a better plan than just trying to pick it.
I mean, I'm sure the adamantine's worth like a lot, though. But maybe we can come back for it sometime.
Big thing's getting her out right now. If you can try it, I think we should try it.
I really like this giant dice.
You said you're translating it for her?
Hmm? So you're translating that you want to turn her into a gas.
Yeah, she has to be willing as part of the spell.
She just looks at you and goes, very well.
Alright, I will cast Gaseous Form on her.
Alright.
If it works.
As you cast it on her, you see the magic begin to envelop her as she starts to begin to kind of like fade a little bit, as you can see those teleportation devices where she starts to break apart, but then the shackles start to glow. A hot heat as they just... And you see that the form just begins to... As she comes once more back into the material. And they just...
He says, ow.
They
She
seem to
says,
burn.
ow.
Yeah, spell slot gone. I was afraid that might happen. Well, that's what I got, guys. Unless I try...
I'm still trying to pick it, but I can't guarantee it will work, especially if you said there's something in there to make it harder.
It'll be very, very, very hard.
Say it wouldn't hurt to try, but it probably...
It would hurt to try.
I mean,
Well, it would hurt to fail.
I mean, maybe there's a key somewhere or something further in.
Not something to leave about here. There's certainly a chance it'll be in, I guess.
Could you ask her if she knows if there is a key or if someone in particular has it?
Is your son who changed you, does he have the key, or was it placed somewhere that you may know of?
She breathes out after the pain subsides. Yes, he holds the key to my shackles. Do you intend
son,
to free me?
Yes.
Then you best
One-
retrieve the key.
Do you, by chance, know anything about what we may face specifically?
She kind of like... Abominations. Vile sorcery.
That hurts my feelings.
They've experimented with creatures and other human kinds, birthing these half creature, half man. He was my half-breed, but the others are darker, more feral.
I mean, it still hurts my feelings when you're explaining this, but I would really prefer it if I could release you now and you could probably help us in such an endeavor, but I feel maybe more advantageous if we find your son and deal with him directly.
She just kind of goes and smiles. If you see him, kill him for me.
Well, that'd kind of been the initial intent, but... Do you know where he's located?
She looks past you and past Valindra deeper into the heart of the mountain. In there.
Okay. Well, hang tight. We'll be back shortly. And as I turn around, I then just kind of do a double take and ask, is he a magical user, or is he all about smash?
Well, that's the mage that we've been fighting since their time. I'm fairly sure. Oh, was it in Giant? I don't know that then. Never mind. Ignore.
Yeah, it's in Giant. He is magically inclined.
Of the person that we experienced, the spellcaster on our way to here, I will ask her if that sounds familiar or if that might be possibly the one.
she kind of just... That sounds like him, yes.
Okay. Well, everyone, apparently that asshole of a wizard or a mage that just is apparently her favorite.
Well, I would like to finish the job on him. Should move in.
Well, we will be back as quick as possible. And hopefully having dealt with him.
Fine.
Have I seen or heard anything at the mouth of this cave? Keeping a lookout with I rolled an 18.
For the 10 minutes that has basically gone on with the identifying and all the continual conversation, there's been no one moving in and out at this point.
Okay.
So I can cast gaseous form again, and we can do it on our cash, or do we want to wait until Rook scats out and we actually find something?
I think I should stay out of the bottle this time.
Okay. And that'll just give me more options to play with for my spells anyway.
Okay, moving on.
Alright. Should we make another stealth round?
Yeah.
Alright. So, you guys proceed as quietly as you can. Make a stealth check with disadvantage for Varkesh and Valindra.
Oh, 2 nat 20.
Son of a gun!
Ooh. Alright. You try to move as quietly as you can, making your way towards the entryway right there. You can see
We got
that,
lost.
Yeah, you did. You can see that there looks to be a kind of smoothing out of the ground as it's been kind of carved and tiled out to make a floor. A stairway leads up, and you can see 2 braziers just currently lit with a glowing ember light. At the center, at the top, you can see what appears to be an altar. The altar looks to have what appears to be remnants of different kinds of tools and bowls and other different instruments or tools that are used for something, but you can see behind it there is a door, completely covering every crack and made of stone.
I'll look the door over. Does it look like anything that I can see to open it?
As you go past it, you get the actual view of the table, the little altar in front of you. You can see that it is smeared with blood. There is a multitude of these red and blackened scarred motions across its surface, and you can see that the door itself has no handle, no lock or any kind to open it naturally.
Well, that's ominous.
For a cashier, you use a lot of tools. Do you recognize any of the ones on the table?
Do you know of any of these tools?
There looks to be knives, bowls, different types of instruments that might be used to cut or pierce, maybe like jagged stone or obsidian.
Well, either this is Morticia Adams' kitchen, or this is a sacrificial place.
I think the only way to open the door would be a blood sacrifice on that altar there, but I'm not touching that.
Mookie, you're up.
Of course they're not. I'll cut my hand.
Okay.
Smeared on the altar.
You take 1 point of damage as you slice it open a little bit, and you take your hand and you do a very similar motion of smearing it across. And as you do this mirrored motion, your hand holds it, and as you move, the door also in sync shifts with it. And as you hold it at the edge of the altar, the door holds itself to the ground.
So the door's closed now?
The door is fully open. As you did the
opening
scraping
the ground,
motion,
okay.
as it kind of like in a parallel sync, when you scraped every inch you did, the door fell down. and fell down.
Okay. Okay. Do I see any type of like religious symbols around or anything like that?
You don't see any religious symbols, no. Nothing of the divine.
Well, like divine or demonic, or like basically do I see like symbols of
No symbols.
beings?
Nothing like that.
Any like writing or anything anywhere that I can read?
No sigils, no marks, no nothing. It's very plain and simple and covered up, but nothing to really give you much hint as to its origin.
Okay.
But yeah, but the door does open quietly as it just kind of grates in.
Alright, I guess we should go
Right?
Well,
before it closes again.
You do hear
Let me lead the way, please.
You do hear soft chanting as the door opens, and as Rook looks forward, you see to the right of you what appears to be a dark room with candles around a circle etched onto the ground, and you can see an individual cloaked in red doing some kind of incantation, as in the center you see two fired beings, these weird little dripping globs of magma and wing flying around and just dipping onto the stone. And as you peek your head around, you do see that he spots you and immediately takes a breath to call out an alarm. And that's where we'll end it for tonight. So.
All right.
Yeah, so good job. You made it into the hold, but you sadly did not get all the way in yet. But you are in for the start of the infiltration of this little underground fortress. Congratulations, everyone. You didn't die.
Oh, great. It's a fortress.
You didn't.
You didn't die, and that's what counts. But yes, thank you everyone for coming and joining us tonight as we ventured even further into the mountainsides of Valoran. Now, we will of course be continuing our streams every Sunday at 6:30 Pacific Time PM. And of course we have our other campaign on Tuesdays that is also at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. And of course, any time you spend here, you accumulate points that can be spent there as well, and it's just a win-win all around. But from me and all these amazing players, Kayla, Cody, Scott, and Connor, thank you so much, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye, everybody.